legion of tusks in the valley of mist. The altars are cold, the terror is old. But high on the rim, the shadows grow slim. No crown for his head, just vengeance and lead. One breath for the draw, one man for the Lord. The emerald spark, a fight in the dark, 1,000 fall still at the command of his will. The mountain is won, the monsters are done. Where legends fade and ancient fires glow, the green arrow stands, the master of the bow.
The banners hung heavy, all tattered and torn, in the valley where kings and their legends were born.
The iron was rusted.
Oh, morning, guys. Bad Wolf, just the man. Just the man, Bad Wolf. I was over on in your disco, whatever. I thought it was brilliant, mate. I think absolutely brilliant. It really was. You've got to do something with that, but make sure that all your stuff is copyrighted. We'll promote it. It was superb. I don't know what resources you've got. This is just me thinking off the top of my head when I saw it last night. I thought Bad Wolf, he's got such great music, great tunes, all different genres. Perhaps, I don't know if it's possible, but perhaps you ought to have a country and western room, a techno room, a rock room. Copyright the lot, mate. And I tell you what, you could have a real winner. You could have a real winner, Bad Wolf. We'll do everything we can to support you. I don't know what the copyright rules are, but get your copyright logo up on there and let it be known it's your music, yeah? And it can't be published without your permission. That's just my opinion, Bad Wolf. Go for it. Great. That is good. I tell you what, well, I thought it was awesome last night. And you know me, I'm an older generation, so I'm not saying it was my kind of music, but even I stuck around and listened to it. It was brilliant. Oh, I'm pleased about that. To be honest, I'll tell you straight now, I'd rather have been in your room than in my room last night. And I'm not going to say any more about it. It was fabulous. Anyhow, I've got a lot of work to do today. So we'll close the stream at 10. Shall we say 10? Just let people have a chill. Anyhow, that's where I think, Bad Wolf, you should really go for it. Let's check this out. I got to watch this.
Clear the show! Throw it all in the trash! I don't want it! Give me the real thing! I'm looking at the wall and I'm feeling disgusted.
Oh, yeah.
My Funko Pop collection, yeah, the trust is busted. Batman staring at me with those dead plastic eyes, and my Beanie Baby stash is just a mountain of lies. I'm over the facts, I'm over the hype. I'm done with the limited edition type. I'm purging the room, I'm clearing the floor, cause I found something better and I need it more. My heart is racing, my vision is blurry. I'm typing in the search bar in a frantic hurry. Refresh the page, is it in the cart? This spell-covered hero is stealing my heart. Gotta get me a little Jeffy, yeah. The only one who understands the way I feel. Gotta get me a little Jeffy now. It's burning in my soul, it's getting way too real. Keep these squishies in your cards, I don't care. I just want a tiny phone and that paper clip. Gotta get me a little Jeffy. Gotta get me a little Jeffy. They say he's just a doll, yeah, they say I'm insane, but they don't feel the fire running through my brain. The box is on the truck, it's a mile away. I'm pacing by the mailbox, I'm gonna be okay. Discard the vinyl, burn the plush. I'm caught in the middle of a puppet head rush. No more fads, no more toys for the weak. Little Jeffy is the only treasure I seek. I see him in my dreams. The bald head, the mic, the paperclip. Send it to my house right now! Gotta get me a little Jeffy, yeah. The only one who understands the way I feel. Gotta get me a little Jeffy now. This burning in my soul is getting way too real. Keep your squishies in your cars, I don't care. I just want that tiny camera and mic. Little Jeffy can grip. Gotta get me a little Jeffy. Gotta get me a little Jeffy. Throw out the focus, get rid of them, burn the beanies, set them on fire. I got my Jeffy. Yeah, I got my Jeffy. Wait, does he come with the pull cord? Hello there. Hello there.
I'll go check my email, see if anything's coming. I haven't had a chance yet.
The gardens were dry, and a shroud of gray ashes had swallowed the sky.
For years we had drifted, for years we had strayed, while the stones of our fathers began to degrade.
The hearts were all cold, and the children were still,
As the shadow of winter crept over the hill. Oh, the kingdom was falling, the walls crumbling down. Lost was the glory, and lost was the crown. But when the clock struck the hour of deepest despair, a voice like a trumpet rang out through the air. Not a lord in his silk, nor a knight in his mail, but a humble man, Rupert, who stepped through the gale. He didn't have silver,
he didn't have gold,
just a heart that was honest,
and hands that were bold.
He stood in the square where the elders would meet, with the dust of the roadway still thick on his feet.
He spoke not of conquest or vengeance or pride,
but of the love for the soil that we'd buried inside.
he spoke of the ancestors, sturdy and deep,
who had planted the orchards we neglected to keep. Oh, the kingdom was falling, the walls crumbling down. Lost was the glory, and lost was the crown. But when the clock struck the hour of deepest despair, a voice like a trumpet rang out through the air. Not a lord in his silk, nor a knight in his mail, but a humble man, a Rupert, who stepped through the gale. He picked up a hammer, he picked up a plow.
he said, if we don't save our home, tell me when, tell me how.
And one by one, the neighbors looked up from the mud, with the fire of old memories stirring their blood. The blacksmith, the baker, the girl from the mill, they followed his lead up the side of the hill.
Through the sweat of the brow and the strength of the back, they mended the breach and they filled every crack. The gardens were planted, the bells started to ring,
and the birds in the rafters began once to sing. It wasn't the sword that had won back the day, but the courage to work and the spirit to stay in the land of our fathers, the place we belong, where the weak found their power and the quiet grew strong. Now the kingdom is rising, the hearts are aglow, and the rivers of silver through green meadows flow. We tell of the darkness, we tell of the night, and of Rupert who led us back into the light. Yes, we sing of the hero who answered the call, and the home that was restored for the good of us all.
One thing you could do for me, Bad Eye, if you could think about that song for Bonnie, like you do, I can take the audio out and I can add some images, do that myself, for a tribute to Bonnie. Her name is Bonnie J, Bonnie, and space Jay, Bonnie J. A little tribute to her, because I love her so much. I saw what you done with You Were Family, and I'd really love to be able to send her a little video of a song all about a beautiful little girl who's super intelligent and super beautiful. I know I'm being soft, but you know. Thanks, brother.
I'm reading the room like a riot act, tracing the shadows, watching your back. 1 minute ago, a summer sun, the next the Cold War has just begun. I'm tiptoeing over a fractured glass, waiting for the storm clouds to finally pass. You're a master of the maybe, a king of the might, keeping me shaking in the dead of the night. The thermostat drops when you walk in the door. I don't know what I'm fighting for. Is it love? Is it pride? Or just the place where I go to hide? Are you coming or going? Are you high? Are you low? You're the ghost in the hallway, the thorn in the rose. Which way the wind of your temper blows, nobody knows. You're a revolving door in a haunted house. Am I the hunter or am I the mouse? Are you coming or going? You rewrite the script I'm midline. Tell me my memories aren't actually mine. You're the victim, the hero, the star of the show, building me up just to let you go. A vacuum of air and crowded space. I'm losing the features of my own face. Every I'm sorry is a poison pill. You're moving for the kill, standing perfectly still. The thermostat drops when you walk in the door. I don't know who I am anymore. Is it love? Is it hate? Or just a soul that's accepted its fate? Are you coming or going? Are you high? Are you low? You're the ghost in the hallway, the thorn in the rose. Which way the wind of your temper blows, nobody knows. You're a revolving door in a haunted house. Am I the hunter or am I the mouse? Are you coming or going? Look at me, look at me. Don't look at me, don't look at me. You need the mirror, but you hate the reflection. You crave the worship, but you kill the affection. Grinning,
Good luck. Drive carefully.
The door clicked shut, but I can't tell, was that you arriving or was that me leaving? Coming, going, gone.
Right. Sorry to stop your music. There was something I wanted to say. My wife had a back operation. Must be 25, 30 years ago. She had because she suffered from terrible back pain. They fused the base of her spine. She curses the day that she had that operation. The pain, she said, is even more unbearable. And she never has a pain-free day. Never has a pain-free day. She has to take Solvadines and stuff like that every day to help with the pain and get her through. And some days it's worse than other. And she literally blames the operation for her back pain. Please think about what you're doing, Bad Wolf. I don't want to see you in pain the way my wife is in constant pain. And of course, pain can make a person irritable. And when she's on her bad days with the pain, it's like being around a bear with toothache. You know, it's not fun. And you have to take into account the pain is so bad, you know. If I was in the pain she was in, I would think about leaving the building. Please look after yourself, mate. Yeah, well, I do understand. I really do. I just wish I could take the pain from her for just an hour, just to give her a breather from it. Morning, Kirsty. I don't know what to say. We've tried everything, Bad Wolf. We've tried acupuncture, electric treatment, massage, nerve tablets, cannabinoid oil. We have literally tried everything to ease her pain. I know you have my sympathy. I don't know what to say, but you have my sympathy. There's our Blue Angel. That's my new nickname for Bluebell, Blue Angel. Tramadol. Oh, yeah. That's not good with the side effects from Tramadol. But Jesus Christ, I know what you're saying. It's the only thing you can do. I don't know what to say. I don't know. Oh, that's terrible. I don't know how you keep saying, but I don't, honestly. I'm going to put some music on. I'm going to play this. Yeah.
Pounds of gear on a 12-hour shift, pulling another soul out of the drift. I've walked the alleys where the shadows grow tall, answering the radio, answering the call. No glory in the paperwork, no silver in the hand, just a tired lawman making a stand.
But up on the 5th floor, the air is real still, where they trade our safety for a political bill. They've never tasted the copper, the street side rain, but they're signing the checks and then numbing the pain.
They wear the star, but they've forgotten the oath, feeding their pride while we're cutting the growth. All the boots on the pavement are holding the line in the rain. In the wreckage we're doing just fine,
But the suits in the summit behind the closed door,
they're rotten, yeah, they're rotten to the core.
the shield is steady, but the gavel is bent. The heart of the worker is nearly spent. Yeah, it's rotten, rotten to the core.
We're the ones bleeding in the neon light while they're shaking hands at the gala tonight.
They use our courage to buy them a vote, then leave us treading water in a sinking boat.
Who's on the corner? We are. Who's facing the fire? We are. Who's selling the truth? They are. Who's the high-class liar? They are. The precinct is honest. The penthouse is cold. The soul of the city is being sold. On the pavement are holding the line in the rain and the wreckage. We're doing just fine, but the suits in the summit behind the closed door, they're rotten. Yeah, they're rotten to the core.
The shield is steady, but the gavel is bent. The heart of the worker is nearly spent.
Yeah, it's rotten, rotten to the core.
You can keep your title
and your hollow praise.
Oh, we're the ones living through the desperate days.
Rotten to the core.
Just rotten to the core. Don't forget to like and subscribe, or the wolf is coming for you.
Oh, this is exciting, isn't it? This is exciting. I put the link in. No, I don't know. Tell me, Bad Wolf. Discord is up, Ribeye. Oh, it's John Morgan from Red Dead Redemption.
Am I coming through, GA?
You've been coming through for too long, my brother. Oh no, you've been getting through. You've been getting through.
I can't see the comments in StreamYard. Should I click back to the other tab?
If you do, you go back to the other tab, but mute the sound on it, yeah?
Yeah, that's done.
Well done.
Yeah, I was just going to say a couple of things quickly just on what you said, and I'll keep it short because I know time is short for Bad Wolf. He's got an appointment this morning. Regarding the back pain, I spoke to Bad Wolf the other night, so I won't go into some of the things we spoke about. What GA said is actually quite well known. I've known lots of people that have had operations on their back and bitterly regretted it. That being said, there are others that it's gone a lot better for, and it all depends exactly what they're going to do. If they do say they're going to fuse the discs, you do need to think about that because I've got a really bad back, as I told you. GA knows as well, I think. I've got
Yeah.
degenerative disc disease. Makeshift, you recognise, you may have done if you were about in the old days. Yeah, I've got degenerative disc disease in my lower spine, and that went when I was 21, and it couldn't have been any worse in terms of pain. I couldn't walk for months. I thought it was over. I'd never walk again. I couldn't stand upright for more than 2 minutes. So if I stood up, the pain in my thighs just built and built and built. And if I stayed standing up, my legs would have exploded. I would have passed out. It got that bad. So I had to lie on the floor, put my legs up against the wall, and the pain would run out of the thighs at the same rate that it built up in them when I was stood upright. It was really weird. It seemed to work with gravity. It was all to do with trapped nerves. And it went on for 6 months. If I had to go to the shop, I'd walk about 50 yards and I'd have to lie down in the street and put my legs up against someone's garden wall. That's how bad it was. But anyway, I never had an they wanted to take, they did an MRI scan and wanted to take bone off my hips at 21 years old and start fusing all the discs together. And my osteopath said, don't do it. I said, why not? He said, because whenever you have your discs fused, every time you bend over, it starts putting a lot more pressure on the disc right above where they fused it. And then that disc ends up going and you end up with a load more problems. So I never did it. And the pain, I had pain for years and years. I got carried out of my house in a chair by the ambulance people because I couldn't get off the floor. And I never thought it'd get any better. But today I don't have any pain. If I bend quickly in the wrong direction, like sideways, it can go. And if it does go, I just freeze solid. I can't move. But I know what I can and can't do. So I don't do that now. And I don't have any day-to-day pain. And the only way I got rid of the pain was through what I'm going to speak about in a week on Monday. Because it was down to diet. Because once I changed to all the things I do now, I lowered the inflammation in the body so much. I even had arthritis in my spine, and that's completely gone because arthritis is just inflammation. That's all it is. And once you lower the inflammation, it gets rid of it. And it just relieved the pressure. And also with weight training as well is the best thing you can do with back pain because it corrects your posture, which in turn takes pressure off of the discs and nerves. So once you lower the inflammation and correct your posture, those nerves that are trapped become released. And you can go from crippling pain to zero pain, just like that. Drugs never touched it. They had me on morphine and everything. I could take huge doses of morphine and it never touched the pain. Nothing would. It was a nightmare. But as soon as the nerves released, the pain's gone because that's all it is. If the discs have degenerated, then the nerves are free. But the back, it could be a herniated disc, it could be a prolapsed disc, it could be degenerative discs. The only way they know, I don't know if you've had one, Bad Wolf, but you have to have an MRI on your lower back because without an MRI, they simply can't see what's going on. I'm guessing you may have had one. They wouldn't be doing an operation without an MRI, surely. So I'm guessing you've had an MRI. And if you haven't, demand one. Don't whatever you. Oh, you have had multiple. Yeah, I would have thought they would have done that. So I don't know exactly what's wrong with yours or what they think's causing it. They could be wrong as well because backs are so complicated. Yeah, I've had them as well. I had everything, but drugs never touched the pain at all, and I stopped taking them because all the side effects and everything. Osteoporosis. Yeah, that's another thing. The osteoporosis thing. So many people have that. It's completely avoidable. Osteoarthritis. The doctors would tell you that's it. It's over. You can't cure that. You absolutely can. That's just protein deficiency in the bone. So, go on, GA. You want to speak?
Yeah, what you were saying is really, really interesting, Ribeye. really interesting. And I'm so looking forward to your show in a week or so. Are there any ideas of anything Angela and the other people who are watching can do to ease their pain? You've been through it.
The number one thing, if you've got back pain, GA, you've lost your sound. You've hit a button, you're muted. That's better. I think you're back. Say something.
Okay.
Yeah, you're back. The number one enemy, if you've got back pain, is sitting down and not moving. That's the worst thing in the world you can do, but that's what you want to do. You think, oh, my butt, I don't want to move, it hurts. The best thing you can do straight away off the cuff is walking. Walk as much as you can. Do stuff. Sitting down and doing nothing will make it much, much worse. Even the doctors, I don't listen to doctors at all, but even they will say that, and they're actually right on that. Moving is the number one thing you want to do. Staying still, laying down because your back hurts, it's just going to make it worse, the pain levels.
Okay, Rebecca, will you do me a favor, please? I know I had to push you. You might even get a pay rise. Oh, I doubled your pay yesterday, didn't I? Listen, will you come on tonight at a time, I don't know what time, and just tell me or tell us again exactly what you were saying now? We'll have more viewers in, and I can get my wife to sit down and listen to me. I'll listen to you. She won't listen to me. I know she listens to you. When I told her about what you've been saying, she perked up. She never listens to me. It's like it's built in. Will you do it tonight for us, please?
Well, it depends how many. I mean, if there's more than 10, then I'll start stuttering. There's only, actually, I thought there was only about 6 of us here. There's 27 now. Yeah, I can do, but we can just leave it till.
All right, the show.
Yeah. The
It's
thing
up to
is,
you.
like I said, there's no like answer to back pain because everyone's back pain's caused by a different nerve or something different. So you can't actually give a specific answer. But there are general things like be careful if you're going to have an operation because it can and does go wrong on many people, but not everyone. And definitely move as much as you can. That's the two main things. And diet, like I said, the key to everything, every health problem you've got is lowering inflammation. Carbohydrates will make you chronically inflamed through through Randall cycle complications, but that's a whole topic in itself.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming up, Ribeye. I know you don't like speaking. He really doesn't like speaking, guys. It's a pity because I want him to be the next Green Arrow. But
that's not going to happen. Just letting everyone know, GA says this every day. It's not going to happen.
So tell me then, Ribeye, do you want this channel to die when I die?
No, but you're not going to die after next week because you're going to get another 10 years. So you can forget that idea. You haven't got time to die.
I haven't got time to die. No, not especially. I've waited all these years for someone to turn out music I like. Bad Wolf, that is. He makes great music. And I've had to wait until I'm fucking 77 to listen to 77 to listen to it. I play his streams all day.
Yeah, I was trying to read the text there, which is really hard when you're on the mic. The sun plug. Honestly, none of that stuff works. Turmeric do not take turmeric. It's one of the biggest cons out there. It doesn't do you any good at all. You have to have, they say you have to have black pepper with it, but don't waste your money. It's a complete waste of money. Arthritis is just in an inflammatory response. That's all it is. It's not a disease, and it's easy to get rid of. You just lower the inflammation and it goes away. I had arthritis all up my spine. I don't anymore. The doctors don't know why. They said, how come you haven't got arthritis anymore? They just don't understand the power of diet because they're not trained that way.
Right. I understand what you're saying, Ribeye. Right. Now, I suffered terrible arthritis. I've told you about this, and I've actually made a video about this. Now, Then my arthritis was terrible. The doctor prescribed severe painkillers, prescription only, tramadol, or everything. And I refused to take it because of the side effects. But I started taking this, magnesium glycinnamate. Now, let me finish first, Ribai, right? This cured my arthritis in my hands, my thumbs, and my knees. I gave it to my neighbors, and then word of mouth spread, and now I think there's about 20 people in our village who all suffered from arthritis and magnesium glycinnamate, once a day, and my arthritis is gone. There was a time I couldn't even touch anything because the arthritis pain in my hands, Ribai, So regardless of anything you say, and I do believe everything you say about diet, I do believe that, but this helped me. Any comments, Ribai?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not saying it didn't. When someone says this helped me, it may well have done, but it didn't address the underlying cause, which is diet. And here's the thing you've got to remember with supplements. Lots of people take lots of different supplements and claim they feel better. And a lot of them probably do. But that's no reason to keep taking that supplement. None whatsoever. Because if you what you want to do is take supplements and feel no benefit at all, then you know you're on the right track. Because if you get a benefit from a supplement, that's because your diet's bad. So if you do get a benefit, you should be saying, you shouldn't be thinking, oh, I need to order another batch of that because it worked. You should be asking yourself, what the hell is wrong with my diet?
Right.
Why was this wrong with me in the first place? Address the root cause. Always address the root cause. And the way you do that is with a carnivore diet. There's no other way. It's the only way to eat.
I can accept that, right? That makes perfect sense to me. This treated the symptom. It didn't treat the underlying cause, which is my diet. If I'd been eating a proper diet, I wouldn't have needed to take these. All I'm saying is, for people who can't stick to a carnivore diet, we've heard people talking about their pain and stuff like that, which is why we're talking now, is this would help them in the short term, or if they haven't got the willpower that you had. Listen, I really want to talk to you and continue this talk about pain because Angela suffers from it terribly. As you know that, I can see from all the people in the comments who were suffering with back pain because of their spines. All I'm saying is just be careful. When I told my wife about you, Bad Eye, going for an operation, and I wish she'd come to
Bad Eye. It's Bad Wolf, GA.
Yeah, I know.
Dark Wolf or Bad Eye. It's Bad Wolf.
Yeah, I know. I was looking at that comment from Bluebell where she calls him Bad Eye. Anyhow, think about it because my wife had it done and she wishes she. What do you say?
100% worse now than.
How much worse?
100% worse when I had it done.
I'm talking to her. She said it's 100% worse than when she had it done. Listen, we'll keep this then for that conversation that we're going to have later, Ribai, okay? But short-term arthritis, if you haven't got the willpower to do what Ribai is suggesting, I'm going to try what he's suggesting after I listen to his talk. And hopefully then, if Ribai is correct, and I don't doubt him, then I won't need these anymore. But over 20 people in my village have written letters to me and thanked me for putting them onto it. And of course, sorry, Ribai. Have we lost our...
No, I don't know. I'm looking at you speaking, you're like your lips are moving. There's no sound, and then there is sound. I don't get this when I'm not on the mic though. It must be a StreamYard thing. I don't know. It's hard to follow you though.
Yes, it is. Which is why I notice if I try to watch in I close, if you like, the YouTube one that you were seeing, and I just watch through StreamYard. You can, which is perhaps the way you should do it. It is difficult. Now you know what I have to put up with. And the other thing, I'm glad you noticed it, is you shout at me. You shout at an old man. How dare you? Just because I can't keep up with the comments. But you know yourself, it's very difficult to read the comments. Hey,
I'm just waiting for the mods to boot a couple of people out because there's a couple of idiots in the chat by the looks of it.
okay, well, go and do that. You and I will talk offline and we'll arrange this. This is an interesting topic, and I'd really like you to talk to a bigger audience. Yeah. So should we talk about it in the future?
Yeah, well, when did we say a week on Monday?
Yeah. Week Monday. It'll come soon around. It'll come around soon enough. Meanwhile, today there's still wall scraping to be done. I really,
Okay.
right, on a different subject, I really enjoyed it. It was well worth the time I spent editing the video I put up today from Freedom Dad. God, you miss so much, Ribeye, when you're talking to people, the way you and I are talking now. You miss so much of what the person being interviewed says. It is incredible. And when I listened to what the things Freedom Dad said, I thought, how on earth did I miss that whilst he was speaking? It was simply incredible. Anyhow, Ribeye, listen, you've earned that pay rise. Add another 10% to it.
I've got a question before I go, G8.
Yes,
Can you
certainly.
tell me what 10% extra on 0 is?
I can't answer that. I'm not a mathematician.
Okay.
Can you go sort out those comments, please?
Yeah, I'm just seeing Chirac's been timed out. Not sure what you said. That wasn't the one. I was looking at 2 actually. I'm just scrolling up now.
Oh God!
West G8P. I heard this chap is a troublemaker. That caught my eye, and there was another one. Where are we?
You know, our dungeon is getting really full. It
Here we
looks
go.
like
Oh no, sorry, he's typed something sensible. He could have been joking. That's the thing with text. You never know. You can take it the wrong way and ban someone, and they didn't actually do anything wrong.
our
I
dungeon
can't.
is. You know those
Go on.
Salvadorian. You know those videos of Salvadorian prisons, yeah, where they're all jammed into those cages. Well, that's what our dungeon looks like. It is packed. Now we almost reach 100 people in our dungeons. I was thinking of giving them amnesty one day, let them all out so they can start again and keep you busy. He's going his comments.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm getting big gaps between what you say. I'm guessing the chat aren't because I don't when I'm not in StreamYard. Hopefully that'll be solved when you get Starlink up and running.
Oh yeah, absolutely. A few more days, and then after that, I can't bring the installers in. Oh God, the information they want, it's a nightmare. Got to find out where the satellite is in relation to the house. I have to download an app, find out where the satellite is. Then I've got to take a photograph of the roof, the front of the building, the back of the building, and the roof. It's incredible. It really is incredible. It's not easy to get Starlink. And with regards to, because of the subscription that we've taken out, so we get unlimited bandwidth, yeah, really fast. They say that they give you a free mobile satellite that you can take camping and stuff like that. But then when you look down at the small print, you see that you've got to increase your monthly payments just for having it. So they'll give you the kit, but then you have to pay for the stream as well, whether you're using it or not. So I doubt if we'll have that. Okay, would you like to take your seat then, Mr. John Morgan from Red Dead Redemption.
Yep, kick me out.
And one day we'll talk about Red Dead. Do you know, I'd like to talk about Red Dead Redemption one day. What a great
I'd like
game it
to
is.
ask why you haven't watched my entire video yet.
Well, I'd like to if you didn't keep me working so much. How do you think I feel? Last night, I would much rather have been watching your excellent video, which is what, 27 hours long? That's the longest video I've ever heard of in my life. 27. Ribeye has made a 27-hour video with over 10,000 images in of his exploits in Red Dead Redemption. It's a work of art. I can't show it because it's copyright. And I've only been able to watch just over an hour of it. 1 hour. Because I have to come and do live chats. So don't blame me, blame you.
So I was reading the chat there, it made me laugh. Mika wasn't the grass, it was Abigail.
Go sit down, Ribeye, please.
Well, kick me out then. Have I got a channel? I have got a YouTube channel. It's packed with videos. There's a grand total of 0 on there. Actually, no, that's a lie. There's 3 now because no, there isn't. There's still 0. There will be 3. I've downloaded the 3 Bad Wolf made for me, and I'm going to upload them to my channel just so it's got some videos, so it doesn't look like a troll channel.
Well, I hope when Bad Wolf is he does what we suggested. I'd love it if he was to open up like 3 different taverns, if you like. A disco, a Western style bar for country and music, another one for techno music, another one for rock music. I think it would be awesome. I really do. Arthur Morgan's son. Yeah, big shift knows. Okay, then.
Yeah, hang on, GA, 1 second. Makeshift. John Morgan. It's kind of a play on Arthur Morgan and John Marsden, as you've probably guessed. And I did it the other way round for X on X. My name is Arthur Marsden. Arthur Marsden on X, John Morgan on Google. And then once I created the Google account, because I wanted to be anonymous, that's not my real name, obviously. And then I wanted to start commenting on the carnivore streams that I got into about 2.5 years ago. And they said you had to have a YouTube channel. And I was itching to make a comment on a stream I was watching at the time. So I did it really quick. Just opened up a YouTube channel and thought of a carnivore type name. So I thought Ribeye's good. And then I wanted something to rhyme with that. So I thought Ribeye Rob. And just quickly created it so I could jump in the stream and make some comments. And that's it. So because Google Meet, I do carnivore lives with a couple of carnivore doctors on Google Meet 2 or 3 times a week. And I always appear in that as John Morgan because obviously it's Google's. They use your Google account and it looks like this StreamYard does the same thing, which is why John Morgan's coming up instead of Ribeye Rob, which always appears in comments.
You know, what's this about false arrest from Ribeye? We want justice. Are you saying that there's 2-tier justice on our channel, Ribeye? What have you been doing? What's this about false arrests from Ribeye? That they demand justice. What have you done?
It could be referring to when I was arrested back in the day.
All right. I remember that. Oh, it was nice to have a bit of peace from you, knowing that at least for 24 hours, I didn't have to worry what you were doing. You were tucked up in a nice warm cell. That was good. I was sat there having my run thinking, I wonder what Ribeye's doing now. I wonder if he was up against the cell windows like this looking out. Don't get no sympathy from me, brother. We're BMP, remember? Okay. Out you go. Goodbye. Say goodbye to your public.
Yeah, I shall be back in a week and a bit. Week on Monday, isn't it? 7 p.m. Did you say?
That's right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm glad to see now that you're coming up and talking on the mic, which is a good start. He's put his foot out of the closet. He's dipped his toes into the water. He's going to make a fine green arrow one day. On that note, we throw him out. Get out. He's gone. I can see what I like about him now, can't I? The guy's a diamond. He knows what he's talking about. Really looking forward to his show, week Monday. It's going to be a long one because we have to start way back in time. Way back in time. But maybe this isn't awfully about that. I've obviously missed something. Yeah. Okay, Carl. Sorry, mate. This is a pro Rupert Lowe Restore Britain site. We're not here to debate with anyone. We're here to promote our party. We don't want people coming in trying to demoralize patriots. Okay, some of us have seen it all before. You know what to do. You know where the door is. We don't want to debate with you. Yeah, we really don't, because you've got nothing of any importance to say. Nothing. Yeah. Well said, Bad Wolf. Well said. Carl, I'm not really interested, right? Because I've seen the tactics you use. You were attempting to use your so many times before. Yeah, it is the slow drip of poison, isn't it? It's the slow drip of poison. And I know what people like you can do to a group or a branch. Yeah, I don't know. I think much more, and you'll be going down and you'll be prisoner 97. Bread and water. Well, you won't even get bread and water. You're just left down there forever. Oh, oh, definitely. Anyhow, let's get back to what we're doing. Let's have some of this. Is that?
It's bitter and cold. Oh, I'm trading the spurs for the kitchen and the stars for a roof overhead. I'm sick of the beans and the campfire and the hard, lonely ground for a bed. I can see it just over the canyon, like a jewel in the dust and the snow. I'm coming back to the Green Arrow, the only sweet home that I know. I've outrun the law and the weather. I've outlasted the heat of the day. But I'm tired of being the hunter when my heart's half a lifetime away.
I'm going to put a link in for Vindicator if you'd like to come up to the mic just for a moment. Because I do want to talk to him. I'd like to, well, ask his advice, you could say. Okay, there's the link up. Oh. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't had a chance, been a bit too busy. When I close this stream, I'll get straight over and watch it. All right. Okay, mate. Understood. Never mind. Good luck with your live stream. I look forward to watching it, Vindicator. Oh, there he is.
Hello. How you doing, mate?
Hiya, Vindicator. Sorry to drag you away from your work. I know what it's like.
That's all right, mate. No problem.
Anyhow, how are things with you? I sent you a message on X.
Yeah, I've seen it, mate. I haven't responded because I've been that busy doing other things, mate. It's crazy. You know, it's like
Yeah.
I launched a channel email the day. I've just been answering emails. It's just been non-stop. I've had some really crazy stuff, really crazy stuff. That it's like, okay.
I've taken down my email, my burner email, because some of the shit I was getting, you know, the kind of shit we get, Vindicator.
Yeah, I think I'm starting to get some of the shit that you were getting, mate.
It doesn't matter. I got my military documents out and showed them. I've had another guy now saying that, oh, you know the shit. Vindicator,
Yeah.
there was something, Freedom Dad.
You could show them pictures of you out with your rifle in your hand, shooting the enemy, and they still wouldn't believe it. They say photoshopped AI. It's like,
Yeah.
fair enough. You'll never convince them because in their own head they're right, and it's like, just leave them alone. Just leave them alone. Get on with it.
Well, the thing is, some of them they'll do it deliberately. They know what they're doing. It's done deliberately to divert you, stop you thinking about something, and to slow you down, to interrupt the flow of your work. So they know what they are doing. There's some, Freedom Dad, 2 minutes in. Congratulations to you.
Nice one.
It might be nice if you go over there and just say thank you in a comment.
He came into my live stream yesterday, and I thanked him there.
Right.
For all his support and stuff. I said without him, because he gave me my initial shout out. I said without you, this channel wouldn't have set off growing like it did. And I sent people over to his channel to go and sub to him as well, because you know there are probably some people that don't know about what he's up to in Northern Ireland. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, I should have guessed that you'd have done it. I didn't think you'd missed something like that.
Yeah.
I only sent it because I wasn't sure if you'd seen him congratulating you.
I gave you a shout out. I gave Blueprint UK a shout out. I gave Bad Wolf a shout out because everybody's currently undersubscribed. We need to get everybody up to 10,000 subscribers, so we've all got an equal voice. And
absolutely, absolutely. So your live stream's on at 12. I'll be closing this stream down. Last night, I'm not whining you. Don't get me wrong, Vindicator. It's going to sound like a bitch, but have you ever known a military person never bitch about something? But no. Last night, all I wanted to do was chill out and listen to some music. And Graham Moore from the English Constitution came over.
He's a nice guy. He's a nice guy, yeah.
Yes, he is. And what he had to say, a lot of sense. I wanted to ask him questions. I didn't get a chance. We had someone forceful up as a guest also. And I was just so exhausted. All I wanted to do was just slump down and listen to some music. It was bloody hard work, Vindicator. I don't know how you do it every day.
Yeah. I think sometimes people don't realise it's just nice to relax in somebody else's stream without actually coming into it and just lingering in the comments and just looking to see what other people are saying and listen to what's being said and listen to the guests on the live stream and stuff like that. It really is. I know what you mean. It's hard work.
Vindicator, if I go over, say, to your stream or the Gobster, I'm frightened to leave a comment. I just sit there quiet because I'm frightened I'll get asked up to the microphone.
Yeah. You know what I find, right? I hate it, and it's new to me. All this, like being recognised and stuff like it's completely new to me. I don't like it, to be honest with you. And when I go into people's live chats and I say hi to the person in the chat, it feels like I'm taking over their live stream because everybody's like talking about me. I don't like doing it, and it puts you off commenting. It really does.
It does. Perhaps get another identity so can go into rooms anonymously.
Yeah.
Anonymous.
I won't say what I was going to say then. I was probably thinking the same thing you were thinking. Like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah,
let's not go there.
yeah, absolutely. And the other thing is, you don't have time to try and, because of the work we do in the background and stuff like that, don't have time to go and read the news stories and stuff like that.
I'll be honest with you. That's all I do. That's all I do is read news articles. This is what gets you down. Is because you're like surrounded by all this doom and gloom constantly. You're trying to find the light in it at some point. You'll know as well as I do. At some point, you'll need to take a break. You'll think, "That's it. I'm done. I've got to have 2 days off."
Yeah, you do, to step away from it. I mean, even our moderator, Ribeye, I mean, he gets exhausted just trying to control all the comments and moderate the comments and stuff like that. It's tiresome business. You know it well, Vindicator. Anyhow.
Yeah.
One thing, Vindicator, could I ask you? I really could do with some exercise, and I watch you going for your walks, and I think this nice, and I've got some beautiful scenery around here, beautiful. And I thought, well, I don't go because I'm doing something like this now. And I thought, how nice it would be to do what Vindicator does. And I see Gobster started doing it. Just go out for a walk up by the pond and over by the base of the mountain, and do what you do. What camera should I get?
If you want to live stream, right, there's an app called Prism that lets you live stream. It's a studio that you can take with you outside, and you can look at your comments. You can't. There's a lot of things you can't do, but it does allow you to live stream. You'll be able to look at comments and talk to people and stuff like that. You won't necessarily be able to have people in, like you can on StreamYard, stuff like that, but you will be able to talk to people. That's what I was using yesterday, was Prism. It's really, really good.
Do I need and I do it on my phone, do I?
Yeah, do it on your phone, yeah.
I don't need a fancy camera then.
Yeah, you'll know what I mean. So you have to turn down the bandwidth a little bit to stop your phone overheating. My advice would be to take a cable with you and a battery pack so you can plug it in, because it does take down the battery on your phone pretty quick. So that's what I do. I have a cable, the phone cable, and the battery pack ready to plug it in, and it'll carry on streaming. That's what I do when I go out live streaming in protests and stuff. So
brilliant. Yeah. I'd really love to come up to one of to meet you at a protest, but my car is bloody. It'll get me down to the co-op, which is about half a mile away, and that's the farthest it goes.
You never know if when the channel gets a little bit, when it starts to become a little more self-sustaining, I could probably come over to you, mate, and we could do something in your area. Yeah.
Yeah, possibly that would be great. Well, actually, yeah. Well, I'm always completely transparent. I was going to message you this privately, but I think on the 25th of this month, this channel will receive its second payout from YouTube. The first one we got after like 500 videos was £169. Well, God knows how many hours. And so I don't know what we'll get this month, but when it comes in, I'll let you know. Okay.
Just seeing that from Capricorn, I've noticed Jeff Taylor is copying you, Vindicator. The thing is, the morning walk videos, they're not really something that I started. I mean, it was actually Tom 00 News that started doing the morning walks. He used to do them at one time. I think it's a popular thing to do. I've got nothing against people doing it, but obviously Jeff Taylor sounds like a robot. He hasn't, I'm not really into Jeff Taylor.
He hasn't got a personality, Vindicator.
Hello
there.
Hello there.
Hello there. Hello there. My name's Jeff. I've got a cash. Send me your cash. Oh, I don't know what they're doing. I'm staying well away from their sites at the moment, Vindicator.
It was like it's Jeff Taylor's like if a Mr. Potato Head suddenly got given life, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, I'm disappointed in him because I only ever, in 12 years in the Royal Navy, I only met one bad naval officer, just one in 12 years. The rest were officers and gentlemen. And when I saw Jeff Taylor, I stereotyped him then. I thought, oh, he's a naval officer. He must be a pretty good guy then. Because, you know, to me, they were the cream of the three services. But what a disappointment, Vindicator. Oh.
Yeah. The U-turn that he's done on Restore Britain is amazing. I find it amazing. I really do. It's like, do you think people didn't watch you for 5 weeks? Do you really think that? And then all of a sudden you just U-turn, now you're a completely different person. It just amazes me what these people think they can do.
It has, yeah. It's like, I don't want to bring up the old Spain situation again. We are at peace with Spain, yeah.
Yes.
But now it's like something out of an Hornblower book, isn't it?
Yeah, I have said to people, though, it's not going to stop me criticising the things I was criticising before. It's going to be the same thing. You know, all we've done is agree to disagree. That's it, as far as I'm concerned. And I don't want to keep going about it, but I think certainly I'm not going to mention the people because they're not worth it. But I think the people that were very critical of us about the live streams and the debates that we've had since, they're not capable of doing those debates themselves. That's where it all comes from.
You know, I was thinking about it afterwards. So I was reading. I thought Tom did okay. Yeah, I mean, Paul Thorpe is a wily old fox. He's a wily old fox, and he's got a lot of experience. Plus, he's a salesman, and you know what salesmen are like. You know, they're very difficult to get through their skin. So Tom done very well, and he asked some bloody good questions. And I was thinking, could I have done any better? I thought, well, I might have done better there. I wouldn't have handled it that way. So I'm not sure I could have done any better than Tom.
Tom came out with some questions that were making Mr. Thorpe sweat a little bit in that conversation.
I did notice.
You could physically see him getting redder and redder and redder during the interview.
And so, the other thing, Tom maintained his composure, whereas I might have been start off easy and whatever, and then I may well have gone for his throat or gone for his jugular, you know.
And let's not forget, right? Whilst conducting an interview, Tom's controlling a live stream as well at the same time, whilst asking Paul Thorpe questions. It's a lot to do for one person, and he hasn't really got any mods yet either. He was doing the chat, he was doing the Paul Thorpe interview, and he's managing a live stream. People that haven't live streamed or done YouTube don't understand all of this. What happens behind the scenes, just don't get it.
It's a juggling act. It really is. I'm getting better at it slowly, I suppose.
You've got to be really good at multitasking and keeping an eye on everything as it's happening in real time, because otherwise you can miss things. And I do it all the time, like forgetting to switch the microphone off and stuff like that. Oh, mate, I still do that. I still mute myself. I still kick myself out of my own live stream sometimes.
Hey, I haven't had a chance to go over to Dino Bain's channel today. I don't think I had a chance to go yesterday. Has he done anything interesting?
I think he's done one video. I think he has, but he tends to have a break. I think he's like us. He has a break from it every now and again because it just gets too much with all the crazy stuff you have to deal with, and not to mention the crazy stuff, but also the crazy detractors as well. The insane people that disagree with you, that don't think you should have free speech, that don't think you should be able to talk.
Yeah. Abatha, would you like to come in? Abatha's here to join us. He had to look up the word raconteur. I was most surprised. I think he looks more intelligent than he is. Come on, Rack.
I'm sorry to love you and leave you, Jay. I've got to go, mate. I've got to get stuff done before 12 o'clock.
No, Vindicator, I'm really looking forward to our walk today. And you show me the way out through the door. I never go through the door. I don't go in the garden. I don't do anything. My wife does the gardening. Well, she does everything, really. I just sit here and talk. Have a great day, Vindicator. Salute.
Sometimes this is just a message to everybody. If you're feeling down, if you're feeling bad with yourself, just even if you haven't got like the countryside like me and Jay have got, just going for a walk down the street to your local park or something like that, and just getting out of the house and clearing your head, it does you the world of good, mentally and physically. It really does. So I'd recommend it to everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Vindicator. Salute.
No problem, mate. Kick me out. You've got to kick me out today. Kick me out.
I don't like to kick him out. He's a great guy. hit guest, yeah. Perhaps Abatha will come up now and give us some stick. Hello, BC Wench is having problems. I think BC Wench has got something about Dino Bain, hasn't she? Hasn't she? Yeah, I think she has. Paste there. But I've seen something else here. Where was it? Oh, that was funny. Someone, the English Constitution, Graham said he'll come back on the show sometime. So we'll have to set that up when we get time. Yeah. Abatha, are you going to come up? Of course not. I wouldn't say a word about it. I wouldn't tell anyone. I know, but I can't help noticing being sat here, you know. You making eyes at him. Yeah, no, I won't say a word, I promise. Your secret is safe with me. For a price. Oh, look, see what she's trying to say. Look, guys, I can read the lines here. I shall be walking the dog down the canal after, while he walks me, lots of laughter. Does me good getting out in the fresh air. So already now, this is a coded message to Dino Bay. Yeah, meet me at the usual place down by the canal. Yeah, clever. Send your messages to each other via the Green Arrow chat room. I like it. Oh, well, there you go. Ribeyes approved it. Just our secret. I promise. Well, is that Abartha going to come up or what? I've got to close the channel down soon, and I still haven't had a chance to listen to our music. Yeah, hang on, I might. I got a great comment. I took an image. Oh, right. Oh God, no, get back. I took an image of it. Someone came on one of our chats and said, "My God, you're still alive, Green Arrow. I was told you were dead." I've had several of those now. The stories of my death have been greatly exaggerated. I'm still alive, but at least they found their way back to the home of the Green Arrow. Thank you, Kinsman. Thank you. I'm glad someone's working. Us old age pensioners, yeah, we got to have our old age pension. This is why you get cold weather, you know. It's because they're trying to kill me off. They tried it with the chemtrails. They tried it with the cold wind. It's really cold here in Wales today. And they just want to get rid of the old age pensioners. They try raising the age again. Yeah. BC Wench has been rumbled. No, what happens paranormal is this is why our chats are called the pop-up bar. We just go live when we feel like it. We don't have set times. It could be 5 in the morning. It could be 6 in the morning. It could be 9, 10, anytime. We just go live. We're not too worried about time slots and stuff like that. I think it's nice if sometimes we put the room up in the morning and just play the music. People can have it on in the background while they're washing the dishes and stuff like that. It's somewhere for people to come and just chat if they want to. Right, that's really interesting. That is really interesting, paranormal. I've got a lot of information about Tommy Robinson. Here's something, Ribeye. Do you remember that guy, a webmaster, a certain webmaster, who released my information? He took a bit of stick for it. Yeah, when he doxed me. Guess who he's involved with? Did you know, Ribeye? You did know he was involved with them. Yeah. We'll have to talk about it offline. I got a lot of information and I'm not sure what to do with it. I've got this information as well. I don't know if you remember this. I've got to do something with this. Here's a letter. From John Tyndall. This was 2005. This was given to us, Rabbi, in 2007, 2008, something like that, by a patriot who was getting on and said, take this green arrow and one day do something with it. Lots of stuff about PDF files in Parliament, lots of information. Just got to decide what to do with it. There's a letter in there where he says why he's doing it, in memory of the man who was murdered by the state to silence his friend. No. Well, it'll all come out. Let's have a little bit of music for a second while I go through and see how my wife is, shall I? Nice to see Vindicator, wasn't it? Oh, actually, let's go there.
Steady and free, I finally found where I'm grounded. Yeah, the green arrow's calling to me. Oh, the green arrow points me back home, where the handshakes are honest, and you're never alone. From the rise of the sun till the stars hit the ground, it's the sweetest refrain that my poor heart has found in a world full of lonesome. I'm finally me, 'cause the green arrows where I should be. They say that the road is a master that leads you to nowhere at all. But I've built me a bridge over trouble, and I finally stepped over the wall. You can keep all your gold and your silver and your ships out on the deep rolling sea. I'll take the peace and the promise, follow the green arrow home just for me. Oh, the green arrow haunts me back home, where the handshakes are honest, and you're never alone. From the rise of the sun till the stars hit the ground, it's the sweetest refrain that my poor heart has found in a world full of lonesome. I'm finally me, 'cause the green arrows where I should be. You know, Sometimes you wander so far, you forget what it's like to belong. But then you see that sign, and you realize you're home.
Oh, you should have carried on with the music. I was quite happy there. Turn the volume up. How you doing? Let me just sort my volume out, mate. I think everything's all right there. How you doing? Let me just sort my volume out, mate. Don't seem to have you on here yet, Paul. 2 seconds. Right. Why can't I hear you?
Sorry, Freedom Dad.
Got you.
It wasn't you. It was me. I muted the mic.
I was like, I thought it was me, mate.
Freedom Dad. I put a video up this morning of a chat you and I had the other day.
Right.
And why I done that was I was watching it again.
Yeah.
And I realized how I thought it was a real important talk that you made. And I thought we did it on a live stream, and I thought, wow, this is so good. And I didn't want to lose it in the live stream. So I edited the live stream and just put the bit in where you were talking. Because what you said was absolutely brilliant. And that's why I put it out. It was superb. It was really excellent.
No problem, mate. No problem at all. Like I say, my stuff can be used by anybody, and even the haters can use it.
Well, you know what I was thinking, Freedom Dad, is, if you want to take that video, I don't know, and save it and then put it out on your channel, because I think it deserves a bigger audience. You really were that good in it,
Okay,
if I didn't think that, I wouldn't say it. Yeah, it was brilliant.
Cheers, mate. So how are you anyway? All good?
Yeah, much better. It's always a pleasure to see you, Freedom Dad. Always a pleasure.
One of my boys, Glenn Kane. I don't know if you see the videos of with Glenn. He's up in court for
yes.
BMP and stuff, Britain First stuff, Paramount Memorabilia, and the magazine Red Hand in the Sand. And he's like, when you're going on the Paul Morses, will you give me a shout out? Will you tell him I said hello? So if you can give Glenn Kane, if you can say hello to Glenn Kane for me, he will be over the moon. So he will.
Glenn, we're proud of what you were doing. You're a patriot. You're a true Ulster man, and all patriots all around the world, all nationalists support you. And if there's anything we can do to assist you, we will. I actually watched outside the court, and I had a look at the charges against him, Freedom Dad, and that they are totally disgusting and outrageous. Listen, we haven't got many people in the channel at the moment, but do you want to tell our audience about why Glenn has been charged?
Yeah, so Glenn, it was over 20 months ago. Obviously, it was Southport. Whenever Southport happened, with the three wee girls, being on a live band, Axel Aruri Abani, and there was a demonstration protest in Belfast, and it turned. It got a wee bit violent. There was I think there was a couple of shops destroyed and a wee bit of aggro. Nothing major, nothing like on the scale of normal in Northern Ireland. A bit of unrest. And Glenn was there, but he wasn't involved in anything like that. He was just there. But he was photographed because Glenn's quite well known. So he is in Northern Ireland. He's more well known than me, to be honest with you. And so the newspapers got a photograph. So when back in the day and during the Troubles, I was in jail with Glenn as a loyalist prisoner, and he was in for manslaughter. There was an intersection between the Protestant and Catholic area, Falls and the Shankill, and they were always fighting, and it was a gang fight, and a Catholic lost his life. it could have happened either way, mate. At the end of the day, there's no two ways about it. I was
I
caught
know.
by the Catholics a couple of times, beat unconscious. Very lucky. Could have been unalived on 2 occasions in my youth. So it was stuff that was going on quite a lot. A lot of fighting at the intersections between Protestants and Catholics. Protestants jumping Catholics, Catholics jumping Protestants. So they got him in the front page of the paper, just like they do with me. And it was a Killer Kane, you know, at a far right rally. So the following week, or within that, during that next week, it was the Sunday papers. Then during the next week, the police went out and raided his house to try and they were saying that he was instigating instigating the troubles. He was behind it all, which he wasn't. Nothing. I can say that with my hand on my heart, like, you know. So they went out to arrest him on they went out to look for evidence, and there was no evidence, obviously. So they had to find something. So they were there from like 10 o'clock in the morning till 7 o'clock at night, ripping his house apart, and they found stuff to do with the BNP, stuff to do with Britain First, paramilitary memorabilia, UVF, LVF, UDA, stuff from the past, stuff handed down by paramilitary families after they were gone. They would give some stuff to Glenn because he was, like I say, he was quite well known. He was a lovable character on the Shangle, and yeah, he was, like I say, everybody knows Glenn, you know. And he also had magazines called Red Hand in the Sand that somebody had left at his front door, you know what I mean? So, like I say, nothing's illegal. I've got what he's got. I've got the magazine that he's got. So does all my friends. You know, I can go into houses where there's replica firearms, all sorts of paramilitary stuff, badges, paintings, you name it. You know, it's every house I go into in my areas in Northern Ireland, it's paramilitary stuff. Like I say, we're on ceasefire. We've been in ceasefire since 94, 95. It's part of our history, you know. So yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense at all. And this has been going on for 20 months, and he was on really strict bail conditions. He had to sign on the police station every week, which not only is an inconvenience, but it's also dangerous for a young man or a young loyalist like Glenn to be turning up at the same place every week, at the same time. So it was quite a dangerous situation to put him in for something that I don't believe is legal. And what the point I want to make, guys, is that, you know, I've been in prison, as you know. I got 18 years in Scotland for bank robberies, 6 years in England for robberies, possession of firearms, and I've been a loyalist prisoner in Northern Ireland. So I know the law. I know how English system works. I know how the Scottish system works. I know how my own system works as far as courts and stuff like that. But it's as simple as this: if you've committed a crime, and you know they've got the evidence, they've got the witnesses. You know, we're talking about maybe 12, 14 police officers who are. I found the badge. I found the picture. I found the painting. You know, and then you've got a police officer. I found the magazines. That's it. That's the witnesses. Okay, there's no identification parades. There's no DNA. There's no forensics. There's no fingerprints. You know, it isn't a complex case. You know, this is a very simple case. That's the stuff. That's the policemen have found the stuff. That's who stands in the dock and go, yes, I found this BNP badge. I found this Britain First badge. Whatever. That's the way it works, right? And then you have the policeman goes, I've got this magazine. So the prosecution are saying that it's, I don't know what they're saying about the magazine, that racist, far right, I don't know. So Glenn's got a cultural expert who's disputing whatever the prosecution are saying. So the prosecution have got their guy who's probably a Muslim, believe it or not. I wouldn't be surprised. I think it is a Muslim who's saying that this magazine is detrimental and hateful towards Islam. And then Glenn's got a cultural expert in who's well versed and plenty of qualifications, saying, well, you know what, there's nothing in here that's actually false. You know what I mean? So everything's been ready to go for a very long time. And where we're at right now is the prosecution, the Sinn Féin government in Northern Ireland are waiting on another trial. I can't say too much about it because it's also somebody I know very well. And they get done for freedom of speech. They got found not guilty. but now the government are appealing it. They're appealing, the prosecution are appealing they're not guilty. So now Glenn's got to wait to find out the outcome of the appeal of this other case that's got nothing to do with him at all before the government are going to decide whether they go forward in that. Now, if that isn't corrupt, I mean, I'm just laying this down in layman's terms. I don't think there's anybody in the chat right now could disagree saying that it sounds like the most corrupt government that we've got on the British Isles right now. Do you agree?
Oh, 100%, and it must be terrible for poor Glenn. With those bail conditions, he can't even really protest. He's not.
No, well, we got it changed 6 weeks ago because we had enough. Obviously, Glenn's not a fighter. Glenn's not, when it comes to court, you know, he just goes along with it. You know what I mean? You know, he like Glenn would go to jail. Glenn just doesn't care. You know, he doesn't care about things. You know what I mean? You know, if he goes to jail, then he's proud to go to jail. Jail doesn't scare him, doesn't faze him. Court doesn't faze him. Go and sign him bail doesn't faze him. You know what I mean? So, like I took on the case as a citizen journalist and brought it to my community, and we got the support of quite a lot of men on the streets. Most importantly, the EBFD in East Belfast, and other boys from Shankill, South Belfast, and that started to support Glenn once they realised what was going on. And we sort of put pressure on the lawyers because, like, Paul, to be honest with you, mate, I don't want to badmouth the lawyers, but lawyers are lawyers, you know, and the longer the case goes on, the more money they make, and everybody's happy, you know what I mean? And you know, we had to say, listen, this isn't right. Either get the case thrown out or get the bail conditions lifted. You know, understand? Because this is getting a bit silly now. You know what I mean? Yeah, we got the bail conditions lifted. He only signs on once a month now, and he's allowed to go to demonstrations and protests again.
Oh, that's something. What about his legal case? Is it funded? Is there anything?
Yes, he gets legal aid and any other help. It's available there, so it is. The lawyers have been made aware. If there's anything that needs to be put into it, we can do it. We'll get the money from somewhere. Oh. But so far, legal aid's covered everything, and yeah, there's been no problems. It's just a farcical behaviour from the government trying to push this madness of free speech and not being able to criticize Islam. And you know, I don't know if you've seen this.
I am listening.
That's right. I don't know if you've read the magazine, mate, Red Hand in the Sand. It's definitely worth a look at. You can't get it online.
I know of it. I've never seen it. I'd love to see it.
You can't. If you put it into online, you can get it. It's available on the internet.
I'll get it. I'll get one.
It is available.
And talking about what Glenn had there, none of that is illegal.
I know.
After the Second World War, almost every house in Britain had souvenirs from the Second World War. Symbols, flags, even weapons. I remember way back in time, my father had an old Luger, a German Luger from his time in the war. That was sold on years ago.
Yeah,
but nothing he had was illegal.
Well, I think that what they're trying to say is what you're saying about the war is a good point. But UVF, the LVF, UFF, they were prescribed organisations. You know what I mean? So you know, like back in the day, you could have got done with it, but since the ceasefires, you know what I mean? It's sort of like there is no UVF, UFF, LVF anymore. I mean, the guns are down. The guns have been sealed up, and we're at peace. You know what I mean? So just like the IRA and the NLA, they have all their memorabilia. They have museums with all their stuff and all that. And you know, Bobby Sands statue in the middle of, I think it's Ballymurphy. You know, there's lots of stuff that everybody, like when they go into other houses, they're not. If they were to go into every single house, or every time they went into an ex-loyalist or an ex-Republican's house, you know, if they're going on Glenn Kane's case, then they should be arresting everybody. You know, because absolutely. Everybody's got it. Everybody's got memorabilia. They got pictures from the maze because there was so much stuff. There was so much stuff done in the maze, long cash, paintings and stuff like that, cushions and. You know, and all leather stuff, you know, leather wallets, leather belts. Yeah, there was,
Yeah.
and so it's everywhere. Everybody's got stuff with LVF, UDA, UFF, UVF. You know that their granddads and their dads have made, handed down through time. You know, T-shirts. You know, flags. Everybody. You know, everybody's
Yeah.
got it. And this is the first time anybody's been charged in peacetime with having this kind of stuff. And you
Oh,
got to
that's
understand as well, Paul. There was no weapons involved. There's no weapons. We're not talking about
none
weapons.
at all.
No, we're talking about memorabilia. We're talking about paintings and pictures and cards and badges and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's memorabilia that anyone would be proud to create. You see, on my lapel, that's my
Yeah.
old British National Party badge. I left them when they collapsed 10 years ago. 11 years ago. I still wear this badge because I treasure it and I'm proud of what I've done there. And had
Yeah.
I served, if I had been born where you were born, I would have probably been a proud member of the UVF or the UFF. I would have been.
Yeah.
It's in my nature to be a
Yeah.
political fighter. And I'd
Yeah.
want to keep those symbols as a memory. I take
Yeah.
pride in it.
Yeah.
I understand.
But here's the kicker as well. I need to make this point because I wouldn't be telling the story properly if I didn't tell you this. Glenn's never been a member of the UVF, UDA, LVF, or any. Glenn has never been a member of any paramilitary organisation. Glenn has always been a young man who grew up in one of the roughest parts, the Shankill Road, and knew all the big players and looked up to them. You know what I mean? He was like me as a young boy. You looked up to the big names and all. You know what I mean? And that's just the way it was. You know, they're like superstars. When we were growing up as wee boys, some of our big names in the paramilitaries were superstars to us. You know what I mean? Like celebrities. So Glenn wasn't and never joined any paramilitary organisations, but he did support them all. You know what I mean? He did. You know, there's no two ways about it. So there's no even anything like that involved. He's just a supporter. You know what I mean? And because he's grew up with it, and he's got the memory of a computer, Paul. And like I mean this, like you know, you'd love to get you on his channel even sometime, but you got to be careful what he says as well. But he can tell you every single loyalist that's been shot. He can tell you who shot him. He can tell you the dates. He can tell you the cars that were used. He can name IRA men going back to the 80s. He can tell you their cars that they were driving. He can tell you the registrations of the cars that they were driving back in the 80s today still. He's got a photographic memory, absolutely amazing boy. And it was a hobby. It was like a hobby to him. You know, he was interested in it. You know, and that's where we're at with Glenn. You know what I mean? And that's why he's got what he's got. You know, it was his hobby. You know what I mean? He would be a brilliant historian. He would be a brilliant like, see if he was to sit down and write a book. There's nobody would write the book better than him because nobody has as much information in their head than he has of the troubles.
I understand what you say about those men being superstars to young men. I mean, I was in the British, as you know, I was out there from 69 to 76 in Belfast. And I carried a UVF, the little UVF bronze badge, the UVF one. That was given to me by a banger man, a banger patriot. And he said, keep this on him. Paul, he said, you ever up the Shankill, somewhere like that, and anyone, and he said, just show him this. He said, you'll be all right. And
was it a banger man you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably know who it is. Don't say no names. I can't know who it is.
Well, it was because of what was happening in Ulster that I got involved in politics, because what was happening out there made me furious. And I'm proud to say my sympathies were always with the UVF and the UDA, always, all the time. I hated the IRA. It's only now through people like you that I've stopped hating them and saying it's time to put that behind us and move on, which is what you do when you go down to Dublin. But boy, it took me a long time to stop hating them.
To be honest with you, Paul, you know, I'm not going to say I don't have any hate in my heart for the IRA Sinn Féin, you know, but it's finding that you got to understand as we move forward here. What I'm learning is you know, Catholics don't like them either. You know, you got to understand that. And this is the
Yeah.
problem. This is what the problem I've had in Northern Ireland. What we've had, we've tarred and feathered them all with the same brush. You know, a Catholic was a Catholic. IRA, that was it. We never seen the difference. We believed that all Catholics were IRA. All Catholics supported the IRA.
Why?
You know, even in Southern Ireland, we always believed that all the Southern Irish hated us and supported the IRA and wanted to kill us and get us all out of our homes. You know what I mean? And it's only now we're starting to realise that we got it all wrong. We got it all wrong, and the reason why we got it all wrong is because we'd never went into them areas. We'd never went down to the south. You know what I mean? We'd never experienced what it was like down in these areas and these places. And obviously, I've got an opportunity here with a platform where so many Catholics can communicate with me, and it's overwhelming. It's like I'm blown away, totally blown away. I've made some really good friends with Catholics in some really hardline areas, like over a year now. And there's a couple of months ago, there was me, Pinky, and Glenn, and we were in Home Bargains. We nipped into Home Bargains to grab something, and Glenn and Pinky are down one aisle, and I'm walking down another aisle to look for something, and this big guy came up to me, and he's like, "Oh, Freedom Dad." And I'm like, "All right, mate." He says, "I follow you." He says, "I think what you're doing is amazing." He says, "You meet Glenn and Pinky's there," because Glenn and Pinky, everybody knows Glenn and Pinky as well. I'm like, "Glenn Pinky's there, you want to say hello?" And he was like, "No, no." He says, "I'm from the other side." I'm like, "That doesn't matter." You know,
Yeah.
it turned out this guy was, now this is, I could tell you story after story after story, like this, of me going out and meeting guys from the other side and them coming up approaching me. And he now comes on my channel and comments quite regular. And this is what I'm saying. These are hardline Republican areas where guys are coming up to me
Yeah.
and going out of their way and saying in the town, in the city centre, "I'm from Ardoyne, I'm from Ballymurphy. You know, I respect you. I respect what you're doing. You're right. We don't have a voice. You know what I mean? Keep doing what you're doing." And it's amazing, absolutely amazing. You know, like 15, 20 years ago, they would have been punching me in the nose. You know what I mean?
But even now, the fact that he had the courage to come up and speak to you, because as well, you know, there are men out there who would punish him for what he did.
Exactly. So it is difficult for them all. Even in, I had an IRA boy from Armagh contact me who wanted to have a chat. He wanted an interview. He wanted to talk, and I was like, right, okay, I'm up for that. You know what I mean? Well, I've always wanted to speak to like an IRA man. You know what I mean? And get him on camera and get a good fucking debate with him. You know what I mean? So he says he's gonna chat. He's gonna, because he had to make sure he could. And then he came back and he couldn't do it, you know what I mean? So it's a very strange time, mate. It really, really is, you know what I mean? There's like, there's I think as we go forward, the Republican movement has in the ones that are supporting Hamas and supporting Palestine and wanting the Brits out, it's going to get very, very small, very, very small, you know what I mean? And
Wow.
yeah, and it is simply because of mass immigration, because of foreigners coming in Northern Ireland, ATMOs, what's going on in Southern Ireland, and the lack of response from the Republican movement. I
But
think. Yeah. Go ahead, mate.
what about from the loyalist side? I should imagine there may still be some hardliners who don't like what you're doing, Freedom Dad.
No, it's no too bad, mate. You know, it could be a lot worse. You know what I mean? Like I say, if I live in loyalist areas, mate. You know, I'm in and out of Shankill, East Belfast is my second home. I'm up in Kilcooley and Bangor a lot. These are hardline loyalist areas with both UVF and UDA. I've got friends on both sides. I grew up with a lot of the guys that, you know, that sort of the community leaders, we'll call them. I grew up with them. You know, we run about as kids and stuff like that. And I know everybody because I was a street boy. I was, you know, I lost my mum when I was 8. I was in the streets for a long time in my youth, in children's homes, but I was always running away from children's homes and stuff. So, and then going into care, going into institutions at a very young age, Borstall's, and then into jail, like 16 in the Crumlin Road. So I'm well known. Everybody knows me. And I think that's the standing that I've got because I'm known. There's no many people could get away with doing what they're doing, but I think I get that wee bit of more slack because they know I am genuine. They know I'm a true loyalist. There's nobody got a bad word to say about me, mate. You know what I mean? Apart from Max, my baby's mum, and a couple of other headers. but you know, has men on the street, there's not a man can say a bad word about me. So I'm fortunate that way of who I am and how I've been brought up. It gives me a wee bit of slack to get away with a wee bit more than most, you know what I mean? But yeah, I think, to be honest with you, Paul, I think if there was a problem, they would speak to me.
Aye,
They would
aye.
speak to me, you know, they wouldn't just shoot me, you know what I mean? But they would speak to me, like, you know what I mean? And maybe tell me, right, knock out in the head or stop saying this or, you know, whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah.
When you come on and you start speaking about Ulster and Belfast and the different areas of Belfast, it brings back so many memories, names that I'd forgotten, you know, like the names that stick out always is like Divis Flats,
Mm-hmm.
the Shankill, the Short Strand,
Mm-hmm.
and
The markets.
and all the names. Like when you spoke about Bobby Sands and the Dirty Protest and the Maze. Once I was supposed to have gone down to the Maze, I was in cryptography, and they were signaling to each other, but I didn't go. Somebody else went to try and figure out how they were sending messages. And when you talk about some of the works of art that men who were in turn created with leather and
Mm-hmm.
different materials, you know, wow. Ulster's got a lot to be proud of, especially the loyalists. Their stuff should be
Yeah.
put in a museum. I don't care if they were proscribed organizations. Their
Yeah.
flags, their songs, their
Yeah, well,
trophies.
we do have a couple of museums, loyalist museums, in Belfast. You know, anytime if we hopefully one day you'll be able to come over and we can show you about and let you and meet you with some of the patriots over there because we have a really good network of patriots now. You'd be well welcomed. You know, and we can take you around and show you the museums, the paramilitary museums that we do have. There's one in East Belfast where everything that was in the maze is in this museum, you know what I mean? So yeah, there is like everything that we're talking about, there is museums for it. They're not massive museums, they're small museums in our areas, but you know, it doesn't, we also have, everybody also has them in their houses. It's a very minute selection of what was done in the maze and in the jail and went on in our history. But the majority of the stuff is out in people's houses, whether they're in lofts. And you know, with Glen, a lot of stuff was in cupboards. It wasn't on display. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I've just thinking about the different places and the people and thinking whether I'd like to go back. I don't know. I've kind of had a rule in my life never to go back to the places I've been because I wouldn't like to see the changes that have been made, you know.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like I keep I'm stupid. The Europa Hotel. Was it
The
the
mo-
Europa?
Europa
Always being
Hotel,
bombed?
the most bombed
Always
hotel, the most bombed hotel in Europe. Yep.
yeah. I often
Yeah.
thought about, well, hang on, I'm gonna go stay at the Europa and see if I can get one of those ties because they used to give you a tie if you were in it when it got bombed. I know we laugh about it now, but it wasn't
Yeah, I
funny at the
know.
time.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I grew up. Where the Europa is. Like I live in the village. I got brought up in the village, and like I say, where I was born and bred was the most bombed area in Northern Ireland. Like we had bombs at the end of our street. We had bombs at the top of our street. We had bombs 2 streets away. Like when I grew up, all I knew was bombs going off. Like because the IRA used to come out of the falls and go up a Donegal Road. Right. So
Yeah.
I lived at the bottom of the Donegal Road. That was the village. Kilburn Street was where I was born and bred. So if they would come out of the falls, drive up a Donegal Road with a bomb, and if there was a roadblock or an army checkpoint, because then back in them days the bombs were on timers, right?
Yeah.
So they couldn't take the bombs back in. Most guys that were carrying the bombs didn't make the bombs. So they didn't know what to fucking do with the bomb. So they would leave the bomb in my area before they went back into the falls. And that was a problem we had growing up, you know what I mean? It was horrific as a kid, you know what I mean? I can tell you it was fucking traumatic, like it was brutal. You know, when my mum was alive, I can remember bawling my eyes out at the front door. They put 5 bombs in a factory 2 streets away. I think it was called the Star. The Star, I think it was a jeans factory. and one after the other went off, and you know, I'm sure you've heard a bomb going off.
I do.
You sort of feel it before you hear it because of the speed of.
Don't.
Yeah.
You give me
speed of sound.
goosebumps thinking about it.
Yeah, it's like a double blast. It's like ba-boom. That's the way.
Yeah.
And when you live it, a bomb goes ba-boom. It doesn't just go bang. It goes ba-boom. It's like a double thing, you know. Yeah. So horrific place to live, but exciting as well.
Sort of. You knew you were alive because you were in danger. There's one photograph from Ulster that I regret losing. And I'm stood in front of a big operations map, and it's got these little round-headed coloured pins signifying a different type of attack: a bombing, a robbery, a kneecapping, all different coloured pins. And by the time I left, the entire map of Belfast just seemed to be covered in incident pins of bombing. Mm-hmm. And every day we'd stick another pin in, or two pins, or three, and a shot councillor, a councillor murdered, a councillor beaten.
Yeah. So, well, you'd be lying in your bed at night, Paul, and as a young man, you would know the different caliber of gunfire, you know, and that's like before you were 10-year-old, you could know if it was a 50 cal, you know what I mean? If it was a 22, a 37, whatever, you just know by the sound, the crack that it made, you know what I mean? Because like you'd be lying in your bed at night time, and whether somebody was getting shot or they'd be testing the guns that they've just brought in, and then then you have the helicopters with the spotlight, so it was constant. It was like every single night there was something going on, you know what I mean?
It was the countermeasures that they used to take. I think it was the army that they had sound detectors on to try and triangulate where the gunshot came from, the area that I don't know.
Yeah, they have that in America now. That's what they use in America now. They have that.
Our boys were using it way back.
Yeah,
I always felt sorry for the soldiers on the streets. I did. Sometimes I don't like to talk about it.
Yeah, I know, mate. But it's also good to talk as well, because we remember what people went through, like myself and other people and the soldiers. You know what I mean? I like to we do remember. We try and always remember any soldiers we lost, British Army, that were killed, especially Corporal Derek Woods and David Howes. And,
I was doing similar work. I was doing similar work. That was terrible. And Captain Robert. And did they ever find Captain Robert Nairak's body?
No, I don't know. I don't think so. We Glenn would know. We Glenn would know. We do remember. Then we got the 3 Scottish soldiers as well. So we every year we remember as many as we can. Through memorials, we have paintings of them. We have, there's always something going on. We've got bands named after them. We don't forget. We definitely don't forget. Just like the Catholics, they don't forget the hunger strikers and Easter uprising and not all that carry on. You know what I mean? We are the exact same. The British Army, as far as we're concerned, was our army. You know what I mean? We are British. They were there to protect us. Really, they were. Jerry Adams asked for the British Army. A lot of people don't realize that. You know what I mean? But it was Jerry Adams that asked for the British Army to come in to protect them. You know what I mean? But it's a very complex and crazy. Time.
You say that the Ulstermen don't forget, and that is wonderful. I remember those 2 young Scottish brothers. They got the law changed.
2 brothers and 3. You're right. Yeah.
The 2 brothers and the other guy. They actually got the law changed, so you have to be a certain age. But after the Troubles, I had a place down in Killarney. I was doing rather well at the time, and so I rented a house out there. I didn't own it, a big house. It was a bolt hole and escape hole for the family, and I loved Killarney. It's beautiful, or it was. And I remember driving around the Ring of Kerry up into the mountains, and the number of memorials that the IRA had put up for their heroes. Going right back to Michael Collins and all that. And prominent IRE people who had died for what they believed in. and
Yeah.
they were still putting flowers on them all these years
Yeah.
after
Oh,
that.
yeah. Yeah. But this is
They don't forget.
Paul. I've got like, this is the one thing that I try and push out, to my guys. Let's respect it. Let's respect that. Because I want to keep our traditions. I want to keep our memorials. I want to keep our murals. You know what I mean? And I've got no problem with them remembering their dead and remembering their fallen. You know what I mean?
Well,
It's got to be equal. It's got to be fair on both sides. You know what I mean? If I want to keep my murals and keep my memorial gardens of all our dead, all our lost boys in the UVF and UDA, LVF, UFF, then we can't just say, oh, we don't, you can't have that. Like the Bobby Sands mural,
right.
I don't care.
I wanted to talk to you about Bobby Sands and murals in particular, Freedom Dad. When
Yeah.
Bobby Sands and the Younger Stripes were going on, and you have to remember at that time, I hated them with a
Mm-hmm.
passion. I
Mm-hmm.
don't hate anyone now. And Bobby Sands died. I
Mm-hmm.
celebrated. I was glad he was
Mm-hmm.
dead. I think back
Yep.
now and I think, but he died for something he believed in. And I thought, if I'd been a Catholic, I could have been that man. I could have
Yeah.
been with him.
Yeah.
Then this
I
book,
wouldn't I would knock yourself out over that, because you got to remember the time it was. We had Maggie Thatcher, we had the Brighton bomb. There was a
yeah.
lot going on. We had the horse
Oh,
cavalry guards.
that was
There was
terrible.
so much. There was so much going on. The IRA were Warrington, Birmingham. The kid died at the bomb bin in Warrington. You had the Birmingham bombers. You know what I mean? I could go on and on and on. The
Aye.
IRA were prolific in attacking the mainland and Northern Ireland,
Oh,
and with Maggie Thatcher sticking her heels in against the hunger strikers, we were sort of indoctrinated to, but just with everything that was put into the mix, there
yeah.
was only one recipe coming out, and that was hatred towards the IRA and towards the hunger strikers. And you're right. We were all the same, we at that a lot of us celebrated, you know what I mean? Looking back now, you think yourself, could you have done it differently? And no, I don't think so. I think it was it was a time, it was that time, it was the way it was, you know what I mean? And it's just the way it is. And we've moved on, we get older, we get wiser. And yeah, the thing is now, what the most important thing is that we're able to have a wee bit of respect for these guys, to understand what they went through, like you say.
Well, that's the first step towards peace.
Yep.
And you were doing it. I've got to ask you, one of the biggest memories in my mind are the murals on the walls. Are the murals still there, Freedom Dad?
We're losing murals. Obviously Sinn Féin are on far right now. There's a lot of money floating about. Got to be careful what I say. Personally, I'm not happy, but we are in peace times. We've just lost a really good mural in East Belfast of
Oh,
three gunmen. As a UVF mural. Don't get me wrong, there is another one on the other side of the road that's staying, but this one on the right hand side of the road was taken down about 3 weeks ago. But they are going to replace it with Sir Edward Carson, who was the
right.
founder of the Ulster Volunteer Force in 1912. So
That's,
it's better than
yeah.
nothing, it's better than nothing. But yeah, we are. What they're doing is, where we have murals and could have murals, they're putting up sort of peacetimey things, flowery things, and like really just some nice murals. There is some really nice murals going up. But they don't represent the Troubles. They don't represent paramilitaries. They don't represent loyalism.
They want us to forget.
Yeah, we can see, but the way I look at it like this is, we can put a mural up in a month. It would take us 3 to 4 weeks to get a good mural up. So yeah, they can do what they want right now and decide where we have murals and what murals we put up. But whenever we want to, we will do what we want.
Absolutely. They won't stop the Ulstermen. Nah. Quite often I like to sit here sometimes and I just, on YouTube, I go over and I play the old UVF songs and the UDA songs, and I love them because the lyrics are, and sometimes I sit there and there's a little tear coming down my eye. The those loyalist songs is something else. And sometimes
Well, I'm going to keep it equal here. I'm going to keep it equal because I know we all both have like the Catholic community in our channels. I'm going to tell you a story. So in the Crumlin Road prison on remand as a loyalist prisoner, you know, so the way it was, you had loyalist Republican. So you always had an IRA man next door to you. So back in the day, we used to take it in turns to sing at the door at night. So one night it would be the Catholics, the IRA, then the next night it would be the loyalists, and everybody had to take their turn. So if you imagine a Victorian jail, the Crumlin Road's a Victorian jail. At night time, it's like an opera house. So you've got a slip at your door, which is just enough to get your voice out. And I'm going to be honest, some of the ballads that these IRA men sung out their doors with the acoustics of the wing was absolutely amazing. I have to say that. And I've always said it. I've always spoke about it because it's funny. I was 16, really young. You know, everything was like, wow, you know what I mean? And amongst all the paramilitaries and IRA men, Jerry Kelly and, you know, Martin Meehan, you know, too many of the names, some big names in the IRA. And, you know, it was amazing. So it's a memory, part of my life that I'll never forget. And honestly, the songs that these guys could sing and the words were amazing. Just as amazing as ours, you know what I mean? So just to be fair, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, Freedom Dad. They did have some beautiful songs. There's one I could even sing it now. We're off to Dublin in the green. Hang on, I'll give it you. I remember I can't sing. Oh, we're off to Dublin in the green, where the helmets glisten in the sun, and the bayonets flash and the rifles crash to the echo of a Thompson gun. You know, I knew their songs as well.
Yeah, you got the broad black brimmer of the IRA, the men behind the wire. I'll know a few like.
It's good that we can laugh about it now, Freedom Dad.
Yeah.
We can have to get some ROI guys on.
Definitely. It would be good to have get some of these ex-IRA man on talking and being open and honest and talking about, you know, the past and, you know, and saying what we're saying, you know, respecting each other. But to be honest with you, Paul, it's not going to happen for a wee while yet because these guys have got to live in these areas. You know, they're not as fortunate as I am. You know what I mean?
I know. You stay safe, Freedom Dad.
Yeah, cheers, mate. And I just want to say cheerio to the chat. I will be live on Saturday. I'm not doing any lives at the minute, but there is going to be a big live coming on Saturday. So there is. So that'll be in afternoon. We're in about afternoon time. So it's going to be. Hopefully, it's going to be an amazing live with plenty of action.
Freedom Dad. Well, I'll make sure to push that when I get the date and the time. You look after yourself.
I will do, mate. And thanks for having me on as always. It's always a pleasure to reminisce.
It is indeed. Is there anything at all we can do? Anything?
No, mate. I'm totally relaxed. I'm in Scotland right now, having a wee break from Northern Ireland. Totally chilled out. I'm not as known. I am known in Scotland, but not as much as Northern Ireland. You know, so I can go out to the shop on my own. I go to the pub and have a pint and just walk about the place quite openly and freely. It's a really nice feeling. Of all the places, I love Ireland. Northern Ireland, Ulster the best. Then I love the Scottish Islands. I love the Scottish Islands, and I love the Scottish people. Yeah. Yeah, I like Glasgow. I've always had a soft spot for Glasgow. It's always been my second home. I've always been back and forth, you know what I mean? So, I've got some really good friends in Glasgow that go back a long way, and they've always been there for me. Especially right now with what I'm doing right now. Quite a lot of my mates have stepped up and went, listen, get you over here, get a break. You know what I mean?
We're talking about the Ulstermen and the Scots, how much we love them. I suppose we'd better say something nice about the English.
Oh, listen, I'm actually going to the Tommy Robinson demo. I wasn't going to go, right? Because I'll be honest, Paul. I know you're probably wanting to get away, but I'll be quick. I don't agree with it. You know, I don't see the point in it. There's a lot of money being spent. There's,
you've got to cover it.
Yeah,
you've got to cover it.
a lot of people are spending a lot of money, and I think there could be a lot. They could do a lot better. Anyway, so I'm going to be going down anyway. I wasn't going to go, but a couple of the patriots have asked me to go, and they want me to go to a barbecue and spend a couple of days down in London. So I thought, well, why not? It's a good chance
and a good chance to report on it. I look forward to you.
Yeah, I'm going
are
to
you
do
going
a
to go
wee bit
live?
different. I'm going to be reporting on it. I'm not going to go to cover the demo. I'm going to be reporting on it as somebody who's traveling. I'm going to find out how much it costs people to go there, how many people actually get to see the demo, how many people get to see the stage. You know what people think about it. I'm going to be speaking to people after the demo and asking them some questions about, do they think something better could be done? Do you think are they happy with the demo? Ask people what was the point of this demo, you know, just to find out, because there's no point us talking about it, you know. I mean, we need to talk to the people on the ground who are actually going and spending sometimes thousands of pounds to go to these demos, you know. And I just believe that, you know, there's a lot more can be done, and not enough is being done, you know.
Freedom Dad, I am so glad that we're ending this conversation on this topic, because down the road, someone is going to say that Freedom Dad supported this, not understanding the real reason why you were going to the UTK demo. Yeah. And this clip is pure gold dust, because I can just drag it out and say,
no problem.
Freedom Dad was there reporting on the event and the people who went and the reasons why they went there. Total respect, Freedom Dad.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. And I'll leave you to it, man. I'm going to get a wee cup of tea and go and get some homemade soup at my mate's pub.
Well, that sounds better than me.
What are you up to?
Stripping wallpaper. Salute, Freedom Dad.
No sweat, mate. Take care, mate. Bye-bye, chat.
Love you, brother. The amazing Freedom Dad. The amazing Freedom Dad. Always an interesting talking to Freedom Dad. Yeah, amazing. Just thinking about the past. Excuse me. Where were we, guys?
Where the spirit is free, the green arrow, that's the path for me. The dust settles down on the highway, and the neon starts fading to blue.
Always doing that. Guys, I've got to go and do a small job for the wife. I've got to take down a curtain rail. I don't know why she can't do it herself, but there you go. I mean, she's stripping the wallpaper. So I've got to take a curtain rail down. So it's going to take me, I don't know, 10 minutes, I suppose. I'm going to let the music play, but I won't be here. Ribeye, if there's any problems, wake Ribeye up. He's only dozing and he can look after things. Okay, I'll be back as quickly as I can.
I've looked for a home in the shadows in every town I've
pass through. But there's a light in the window calling, like a bell ringing steady and free. I finally found where I'm grounded. Yeah, the green arrow's calling to me. Oh, the green arrow points me back home, where the handshakes are honest, and you're never alone. From the rise of the sun till the stars hit the ground, it's the sweetest refrain that my poor heart has found. In a world full of lonesome, I'm finally me. 'Cause the green arrow's where I should be. They say that the road is a master that leads you to nowhere at all. But I've built me a bridge over trouble, and I finally stepped over the wall. You can keep all your gold and your silver and your ships out on the deep rolling sea. I'll take the peace and the promise, follow the green arrow home just for me. Oh, the green arrow points me back home, where the handshakes are honest, and you're never alone. From the rise of the sun till the stars hit the ground, it's the sweetest refrain that my poor heart has found. In a world full of lonesome, I'm finally me. 'Cause the green arrow's where I should be. You know, sometimes you wander so far, you forget what it's like to belong. But then you see that sign, and you realize you're home. The spirit is free. The green arrow, that's the path for me. There's a crimson stain deep in the valley, where the ghosts of the cavalry ride.
and the stories in the canyon of the ones who had nowhere to hide. My father, he bled for this acreage, and his father, he broke the first stone. Now I'm crossing the ridge in the twilight to claim what is rightfully owned. Oh, the blood is the life of the river, and the soil is the soul of the land. The legends are written in iron by a cold and a heavy-handed hand. I'm weary of trail dust and shadows, and the secrets the mountainsides keep. But the green arrows rooted in glory, where the bones of the pioneers sleep. They tell of a man out of legend who tamed the wild heart of the plain with nothing but grit in his spirit and a prayer for the coming of rain. That spirit still beats in the timber. It cries in the whippoorwill's call. It's the pull of the earth and the lineage that rises up over us all. Oh, the blood is the life of the river, and the soil is the soul of the land. The legends are written in iron by a cold and a heavy-handed hand. I'm weary of trail dust and shadows, and the secrets the mountainsides keep. But the green arrows rooted in glory, where the bones of the pioneers sleep. It's a thick, heavy tie to the hollows. It's a debt that you pay with your years to keep the old flame from the ashes and wash away history's tears. Tumbleweeds roll past my window, and the desert wind howls at the door. I've been riding this circuit since Memphis, and my spirit is bruised to the core. There's a dust on my boots and my saddle, and the canteen is running on dry. But I'm chasing a silhouette yonder, where the emerald cuts through the sky. Oh, I'm trading the spurs for the kitchen, and the stars for a roof overhead. I'm sick of the beans and the campfire, and the hard, lonely ground for a bed. I can see it just over the canyon, like a jewel in the dust and the snow. I'm coming back to the Green Arrow, the only sweet home that I know. The stagecoach don't stop here no longer, and the gold mines have all turned to rust. But there's a light in that valley of shadows that I'd follow through thunder and dust. It ain't about riches or glory, or the names in the ledger of old. It's the warmth of a stove in the winter, when the prairie turns bitter and cold. Oh, I'm trading the spurs for the kitchen, and the stars for a roof overhead. I'm sick of the beans and the campfire, and the hard, lonely ground for a bed. I can see it just over the canyon, like a jewel in the dust and the snow. I'm coming back to the Green Arrow, the only sweet home that I know. I've outrun the law and the weather, I've outlasted the heat of the day. But I'm tired of being the hunter, when my heart's half a lifetime away. Just a few more miles through the sagebrush, just a few more miles to go. The green
The tumbleweeds roll past my window, and the desert wind howls at the door. I've been riding this circuit since Memphis, and my spirit is bruised to the core. There's a dust on my boots and my saddle, and the canteen is running on dry. But I'm chasing a silhouette yonder, where the emerald cuts through the sky. Oh, I'm trading the spurs for the kitchen, and the stars for a roof overhead. I'm sick of the beans and the campfire, and the hard, lonely ground for a bed. I can see it just over the canyon, like a jewel in the dust and the snow. I'm coming back to the Green Arrow, the only sweet home that I know. The stagecoach don't stop here no longer, and the gold mines have all turned to rust. But there's a light in that valley of shadows that I'd follow through thunder and dust. It ain't about riches or glory, or the names in the ledger of old. It's the warmth of a stove in the winter, when the prairie turns bitter and cold. Oh, I'm trading the spurs for the kitchen, and the stars for a roof overhead. I'm sick of the beans and the campfire, and the hard, lonely ground for a bed. I can see it just over the canyon, like a jewel in the dust and the snow. I'm coming back to the Green Arrow, the only sweet home that I know. I've outrun the law and the weather, I've outlasted the heat of the day, but I'm tired of being the hunter when my heart's half a lifetime away. Just a few more miles through the sagebrush, just a few more miles to go. The Green Arrow, honey, I'm home.
But let me show you something that happened on Sunday.
Jeff Taylor woke up to the sound of his alarm groaning, which seemed fitting. He himself was groaning.
Hello there.
His hair was a chaotic swirl of grey on the sides, leaving the top suspiciously bare, like a tiny, reluctant stage. His moustache, however, stood perfectly in line, sternly disciplined, silently judging the rest of him. He yawned. The first challenge, dressing for his first YouTube video of the day. He shuffled through a wardrobe made for bigger people. Pinstripe suit, check. Oversized paperclip, check. Socks that actually matched, a small miracle. He tugged at his sleeves, straightened his collar, and, in a moment of vanity or despair, examined himself from head to toe. "You're presentable," he said aloud, mostly to himself. Pausing, he added, "ish." His tiny frame in the huge chair looked almost comically heroic, like a man trying to occupy a space far larger than himself. Today was for marches, for crowds, for flags snapping in the wind, and for shouting into the void. The streets were alive. Union Jacks waved, megaphones barked, chants rose and fell like unpredictable waves. Jeff planted himself among them, elbow high to most knees, trying to wedge a voice into the roar. "Excuse me, hello, just a quick word." A boot nearly crushed him. He leapt sideways with surprising agility, adjusted his paperclip, and tried again. "My name is Jeff Taylor," he shouted, reddening as the familiar indignation took hold. "I've got no hair. Well, not on top. Please don't just walk past. Listen, just hear me." The crowd roared on, oblivious. His tiny feet stomped. His fists gestured wildly. He was invisible, a storm in a thimble. He ducked under waving flags, sidestepped trampling boots, flinched around elbows. Every attempt to speak was swallowed by the surrounding chaos. He was a proper fury, confined to a very small body. He muttered to no one in particular. There was another reason he kept at it, a quiet, driving challenge that fueled all his red-faced shouting. Tommy Robinson. Seeing the man, hearing the name, imagining being noticed, even briefly, by him, that was a dream, a goal. The impossible little spark that made all the nearly trampling, the chaos, the shouting worth it.
Hello there.
Hours later, he finally trudged home. No noise, no boots, no near-extinction events every half second. Just a chair, a quiet room, and a cup of cocoa he held like a fragile trophy. The steam curled upward, warm and comforting, carrying with it the faint scent of triumph that nobody else would ever smell. He flicked on a live stream he had bookmarked, the one he watched every night. Familiar voice, familiar cadence. And then, his name, clear, unprompted. He froze, rewound, played it again. There it was, undeniable. A small, slow smile curled his lips. For a brief moment, he wasn't invisible. The world had noticed his efforts, his chaos, his tiny fury, all validated. And even if Tommy Robinson had no idea, even if the recognition was fleeting, it had felt close enough. He leaned back in his chair, cocoa in hand, and felt something he rarely allowed himself. Chuffed. Properly chuffed. The little man had won today in the only way that mattered. He had been heard. "Hello there," he whispered softly to himself, not demanding, not asking, just said. He had a great night's sleep that night, dreaming of the day he had just lived. Every march, every shout, every near miss, every red-faced indignation replayed like a tiny parade in his dreams. He slept like someone who had finally been noticed, tiny, triumphant, and utterly satisfied. Good night, children. And remember, if you're not nice to people, and you tell fibs to the world, one day Focus on Britain might just make a video about you. Bye for now.
Woke up, felt surreal. Saw me on the telly making big deal, smiling, saying I would be nice. Then it's back to resume to his same old life. Staring lines, like and subscribe. Gets it right this time under his task. Don't forget Jeff. Got it all planned, but it feels off track. Half the dream that he can't get back. Paperclip getting heavy. Personality, I sure lie. Hello there, my name is Jeff. And I've got thinning hair, would you like and subscribe? Or send me some cash, cause my name is Jeff Taylor and I've got a tash. Hello there, streets loud. Million people in a waving crowd. Faces change, you don't recognize under his eyes. Angry, no one cares. Too small, drowned out by the louder voices. Cars, where I am here, don't land right. Disappears. Hello there, my name is Jeff. And I've got thinning hair, would you like and subscribe? Or send me some cash, my name is Jeff Taylor and I have got a tash. Hello there, scrolling through his phone. Looking for proof he was not alone. Swear I was there. Small like an elf, late screen on bright. Finds a live stream later that night. Saw me, saying it with a grin, leans in. Spotting him in, thinks he hears something close to his name. Sounds the same, smiling now. somehow. He's small, but it don't feel that way for a little moment at the end of the day. Watches it once, then once again, like he is proving where he has been. Hello there, my name is Jeff, and I've got thinning hair. Would you like and subscribe and send me some cash? Cause my name is Jeff Taylor, and I have got a tash. Hello there, lays down quiet, thinking back on it all that way. Still not seen, but he don't mind. Small as a mouse. Hello there, I am Jeff Taylor. Advance is finished. Thought is diminished. That is that.
I didn't get my share of the shekels last time, Richard.
No, I know. I must have kept them for myself. Yes.
I'm looking at the wall and I'm feeling disgusted. My Funko Pop collection, yeah, the trust is busted. Batman staring at me with those dead plastic eyes, and my Beanie Baby stash is just a mountain of lies. I'm over the facts, I'm over the hype. I'm done with the limited edition type. I'm purging the room, I'm clearing the floor, cause I found something better and I need it more. My heart is racing, my vision is blurry. I'm typing in the search bar in a frantic hurry. Refresh the page, is it in the card? This felt-covered hero is stealing my heart. Gotta get me a little Jeffy, yeah. The only one who understands the way I feel. Gotta get me a little Jeffy now. It's burning in my soul, is getting way too real. Keep these squishies in your cards, I don't care. I just want a tiny phone and that paper clip. Gotta get me a little Jeffy. Gotta get me a little Jeffy. They say he's just a doll, yeah, they say I'm insane, but they don't feel the fire running through my brain. The box is on the truck, it's a mile away. I'm pacing by the mailbox, I'm gonna be okay. Discard the vinyl, burn the plush. I'm caught in the middle of a puppet head rush. No more fads, no more toys for the weak. Little Jeffy is the only treasure I seek. I see him in my dreams. The bald head, the mic, the paperclip. Send it to my house right now! Gotta get me a little Jeffy, yeah. The only one who understands the way I feel. Gotta get me a little Jeffy now. This burning in my soul is getting way too real. Keep your squishies in your cards, I don't care. I just want a tiny camera and my little Jeffy can grip. Gotta get me a little Jeffy. Gotta get me a little Jeffy. Throw out the Funkos, get rid of them, burn the beanies, set them on fire. I got my Jeffy. Yeah, I got my Jeffy. Wait, does he come with the pull cord? Hello there. Hello there.
Parody and comedic content intended for entertainment only. All characters, events, and statements are fictional or exaggerated for comedic effect. Any resemblance to real people or events is purely coincidental and should not be taken as fact. Ah, bollocks. All right, let's just get on with it. We haven't got all day.
This is a Focus on Britain presentation.
Once upon a time, there lived a colony of feral cats. These particular cats were very special because they had adopted a wild man-child after finding him in an Asda car park. The poor little bugger had been crying and looked lost, though in fact, he wasn't lost at all. He had been sitting patiently in his pram, waiting for his wee little mammy. In other words, the cats had essentially stolen him. The Cat King, whose name was Chief No Nuts, due to the fact that he had been castrated when he was just a little kitten, took him in. One day, the little boy was playing, as he always did, on rubbish tips and such, a typical Irish lifestyle for a young one. To his astonishment, as he turned, he caught a glimpse of what looked like a Bigfoot or a Yeti. In fact, it was an aged YouTuber who needed to spread the word of Christ. The man's name was Richie. Richie decided to take this young disciple under his wing and train him in the ancient arts of self-defense for the over 50s. Early one morning, as the cock was crowing, Richie, fast asleep, broke into an almighty scream. Cato, that's what Richie had named the child, suddenly sprang up in shock. Richie, in a complete tizzy, began explaining that he had had that recurring dream again. You know, the one where he is at a really important demonstration with Tommy Robinson, and while the spotlight was on him and everyone was watching, his toe split out of his shoes and socks, and his big toe had turned into an overripe banana, the kind that you could smell from a good way away. After getting his senses back, Richie and Kato were brushing their teeth and spent 20 minutes washing each other's private parts. Nothing gay, just the hard-to-reach places that an aging back can't manage. After that, they had breakfast. Richie had toast and Kato had cornflakes. He loved drinking the milk, remembering what it had been like to live with his feral brothers. Richie checked in on the Grift account. After breakfast, they decided to sit in the living room to watch some YouTube. Kato was being especially loud with his crisp packet, and the crunching was driving Richie crazy. Not to mention the mess the little twat kept making all over the house. With that, Richie stood up and smacked Kato right in the mouth with the bag. Kato yelped, jumped up, and ran upstairs, with Richie close behind. After grabbing Kato, Richie slapped him in the chops. Richie fell apart and apologized to Kato. "You know how I get sometimes," he said. Snivelling and whimpering, Kato stood there like a helpless kitten or something. "I'm sorry," said Richie, feeling an awful guilt he rarely felt. It sat heavy in his chest, unfamiliar and unwelcome, like a weight he didn't quite know how to carry. For once, the words didn't come easy, and that alone made him uneasy. Richie took Kato into his arms. Then, thwack! Kato had twatted Richie right in the mouth and run away laughing. Richie was out for the count. Later that night, Richie awoke to a cold, dark house. Nothing was stirring. He remembered that he had meant to stream that night, so he set up. "Right, time for the Grift. Where did I put my Bible?" he said to himself. He found it, dusted it off, and smirked. Showtime. A sudden vibration in his pocket that tingled the end of his dingle-ling. "Ooh," he said to himself with a chuckle. He reached into his pocket and pulled out his phone. It was then he realized he had 2 missed messages. One from Mr. Teeth himself, the big boss man, and one from a number he didn't recognize. After opening the second message, the phone alert came over the speaker. Self-destruction imminent. Bang, crack, sizzle went the phone. "Kato," Richie yelled. "Get the Specialist Army Soldiers Forces secret agent gear ready." After entering the bedroom, Kaito pulled out a briefcase with lots of different passports and backup money for plane tickets. His weapon bag was filled with stink bombs of the stinkiest kind. They were illegal in some countries. He'd purchased them from the corner shop down the road. Then came time to see what Kaito had saved over the many years of pocket money. "It's for a good cause," Richie exclaimed. "Stop being a mardy little selfish bastard," Richie said calmly to Kaito. And with that, he smashed the little piggy into 1,000 pieces. Then, from outside, Richie made a really important call. He had gone to a phone box to make a secure call. An outside line was needed as it was a very important call. After that, he went back home to secure his Wi-Fi, training he had learned in the army before the internet had even existed. It was then he realized he didn't know what the fuck he was doing. "Livestream, Kaito," he yelled. "After all, the Grift is the all of everything," Richie exclaimed. And with that thought in mind, off he went. After the stream, they hopped in the Inman mobile and shot off as fast as the luxury 1989 Ford Fiesta would take them, 45 miles an hour at top whack, usually. Richie had souped it up big time. Richie was in a real hurry. After all, the Grift was on the line. They arrived at the cash point only to find that no money had been received when expected. Typing in Kato's PIN number, Richie proceeded to check the balance. The panic started to sink in. "Grift sabotage!" Richie yelled at the sky, waving his fist. Richie slammed his hands on the counter, eyes wild. "What in the fucking bum do I have to do to simply make some easy cash? Come on, Lord. Give me a fucking break already." He drove home in a rage at top speed, the wind pushing against him as he tore down the road, 42 miles per hour, reckless for that stretch, like the whole world was lagging behind his thoughts. After getting home, Richie logged into his top-secret computer server that was hosted on some free website. One last live stream to boost spending. Password, Grifter123.
I signed the Official Secrets Act today. If I told you, I'd have to kill you.
His universal key, his proud little system. Makes sense, he always said. Never get locked out of anything again. 18 hours later, they were ready. The room had gone quiet in that heavy, exhausted way, like even the air had given up arguing. The next day, they arrived at the airport, both looking really tired from the night before. They had earned £8.32 for an 18-hour stream. Completely knackered, they approached booking in. After booking in, they found themselves in the airport bar, where once again Richie lost his temper with Kato over his table manners. He wouldn't shut up about it until they had been in the air for about an hour.
Captain speaking.
All of a sudden, Richie caught a glimpse of something that couldn't be. Wait,
Hello
what?
there.
He swore that he had just seen little Jeffy Taylor out the window.
Hello there.
With that, he leapt out of his chair and dangerously opened the plane door to get a better view. This was a stupid idea, as for the rest of the journey, the plane's cabin decompressed. Everyone was forced to wear masks. After arriving in Spain and standing on the beach, Richie felt at home and relaxed. He suggested they find Mr. Teeth, the boss man, as soon as possible. After all, that was their mission. Richie looked out into the distance, where the horizon of the ocean blurred into the sky, and he pondered Grift's success. Arriving at the correct door, they knocked. After a few knocks, the door was answered by the one and only lispy, gleam-toothed slurper himself.
Good evening, Richard. That's it. I was going to say,
The wife super glued my lips together so I couldn't speak, Paul.
That's it. Oh, should have had a word with a pilot. They got Wi-Fi on planes. Stayed away, well, maybe not on the airline tube file, but there you go. We had
That's
a great
not as good a grip review, Paul. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what it is, mate. That's what it is.
Outside budget airlines.
After inviting them in for a very short time, Mr. Tooth explained that they were under attack by Dino Bain and others, including that great new YouTube channel Focus on Britain, with lots of great content. Anyway, after that, Mr. Tooth said he had to go to a meeting. Meet me at the Spaniard's Spunk. It's a great bar, you'll find it. Hours passed, and that night the three of them found themselves having a night to remember. Richie was on the pull. When the mouse is away, the cat will play. He winked at Kato. Richie was dressed to the nines. Old Spice aftershave, gelled spiky hair, and his best chat-up lines, which weren't working. Kato wasn't interested in the girls. He fancied himself a lovely little feline that he had seen earlier that day. After strolling for a while, he caught sight of the beauty. He noticed there was a fast car heading her way. It must have been going at least 12 miles an hour. So he jumped to it and saved the kitty. He spent the rest of the evening with her on the beach, sharing ice cream and listening to his favorite AI cat songs on YouTube. The next day, Richie and Kato left to go back home. Meanwhile, Mr. Tooth had some business to take care of. As he sat there talking on his fake, diamond-encrusted Apple phone, knockoff from China, a man turned up and left a large briefcase full of money. Ha-ha! The grift! He sniggered to himself while paddling ankle-high in the seashore. That night, after getting back to a cold, dark, damp house full of flies, Kato and Richie sat in the living room watching cats on YouTube.
Yeah.
After the lights went out, there was a slow, dank murmur. "No, it's happening again," Kato yelled. "Richie, my toe, my banana toe," and flies.
Like a halo in the night air, going up quick where the bottle caps glint. Richie on a mission, moving like a sprint. YouTube preacher in a baggy town suit, telling the kid how to loot the fruit. He calls him Kato, kid you're the star, but the banana toe won't get you very far. Hey, Kato, run through the smoke, and say no to the storm, the fire explode. Sheep them not to let him back cry, wait for a scream before it starts to die. Yeah, it's all just a grip with a dream. Nothing is ever what it might seem. brushing your teeth through the cold crack sink. Toasted in your morning, trying not to think. Toast with a plate and a slap in the head. So the noise of the crumbs being spread. Then a big hug in that hallway light before Kato starts. Proper Saturday fight, live on the web. For 8 quid a night, screaming at the sky in a digital bright. Fiesta is rattling, going 45, wondering if the motor is even alive. Open the door while the airplane flies. Debbie Taylor shouting, looking for the prize. Spanish sheep and the spunk bar boss. Everyone's angry, everyone's lost. AI songs about cats on the street. Sand on your shoes and the blisters on your feet. Oh, Kato, run through the smoke. The signal is gone, the fiber is broke. Sheep don't know to the bin back cry. Wait for the scream before it starts to die. Yeah, it's all just a gripping dream. Nothing is ever what it might seem. The phone goes bang in a glittery flash. Just got nightmares ending in a smash. The flies are back on the crumbling wall, and the grip goes on to the end of it all. Just start it again, just start it again. Just start it again.
And with that, the story ends, for now. Well, folks, now you've seen part 2 of the Inman story, feel free to like and subscribe. It's free and we ask for nothing. This story is to be continued. This has been a Focus on Britain presentation. See you in the next one.
So I see you next Tuesday, a turncoat.
Tick.
A traitor.
Tick.
A police informer.
Tick.
A Mossad agent.
Tick, tick.
A Zionist.
Tick.
A state agitator.
X.
A Freemason.
X.
A state agent.
Tick.
A grifter.
Tick.
A thief.
Tick.
A conman.
Tick.
A crook.
Tick.
A fake patriot and a crooked watch dealer.
Tick. Now, I better not ask for any money. You know, I'll be getting accused of taking a cut, grifting, giving it all to Mossad.
I should leave it on. Right, guys, be closing down very shortly, guys. Thank you, Rabbi. I'll give you a chance to go make a cup of coffee before going over to watch what Vindicator has to say. Enjoy his walk. Yeah, I'm going to ask Graham to come back on the show and dedicate really a proper night to it. Not just slot it in, but to publicize it. And then perhaps we can ask Lily to be the host. I'll step out of the room and Lily can ask the questions. Yeah? You can lip read Anglo-Angle, you're clever. Yeah, I think that'd be the best way to do it if Lily doesn't mind. Yeah, Lily was awesome Blueprint. And she knew the questions to ask. I think she'd do a better job of it than I. I mean, I did have some questions for him, to be honest, particularly with regards to the union. He wants to separate England from the rest of the union. And so what he's saying is an independent Wales and independent Scotland. I don't want that, so personally. But it'd be interesting to hear his take on it. I'd also like to know what he has to say about Northern Ireland. I might ask a couple of questions, perhaps, and then hand it over to Lily for the constitutional stuff. But for those not interested, we'll be putting a link to a paint drying channel if you're not interested in that kind of talk. Okay, guys, shall we start to wind up? Oh, did he? Yeah. They're not going to like that. Ulster won't like that. They won't like that one little bit. I mean, also, we've got to be realistic about it, haven't we? Wales is heavily subsidised by England. Thank you very much. Mind you, if we opened the pits up again, and sold the water that comes from Wales into England at premium prices, yeah, we could make a profit. Of course, the cities in England would go thirsty. Oh dear. All those third world settlers colonizing our country in the cities, they'd have no water to drink. Ah, that would be fun, wouldn't it? Yeah. Don't say what you're thinking. Just do not say what you were thinking. Right. Yeah, of course he did. Yeah. No. I'm diametrically opposed to anything that breaks up the union. Yeah. When you say the British have left us in a mess makeshift, what do you mean? We are the British. If you're English, Welsh, Scottish, even Irish, you are British. You live on the British Isles. Geographically, we live on the British Isles. We are the British. Within the British, you could be English, Scottish, Welsh, Irish. Okay, guys. Yeah, I'm not getting that makeshift. I'm not getting that at all. Colonial past, screw the colonial past. Yeah. We are the British. Yeah, that's not going to work for me at all, Deanne. Not going to work for me at all. In fact, I'm not even going to promote it. In fact, thinking about it now, it might be a mistake having it on, because the Constitutional Party is a political party. I know Graham said that they wouldn't put up candidates against Restore Britain. What shall I do? Shall I invite the Labour Party on as well? Yeah, I know. Let's get the Labour Party on to put forward their case. Yeah. Or perhaps I should... yeah, I'll get the Greens on. I'll ask the Greens on. Yeah. Actually, the more I think about it, the less I think it would be a good idea to have the Constitutional Party on. Yeah. I'm not interested in talking points. I'm only interested in Rupert Lowe and Restore Britain. I made a mistake. I withdraw that offer. I'll find someone else to bring on. Okay, guys, you've been listening to Paul Morris, the Green Arrow, supporting Rupert Lowe and the Restore Britain Party. Catch you on the next one, guys. Yeah, we'll get the communists on as well. Oh, and what about some LGBTQ people? I mean, they've got a right to have their voice heard as well, haven't they? Forget the offer. I withdraw it. Yeah, that's very nice. And good luck to him. I wish him luck. Plaid Cymru want the same. See you on the next one, guys. We can talk about it then. I don't give a shit about our views. I really don't give a shit about our views. The only people I'm interested in is Restore Britain, not viewers. Money means nothing to me. Only the party and the cause, and you don't support it.